I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Tito Santana.
This is Kurt Angle.
This is Bret the Hitman Hart. This is going out to Scott and Holly.
You are listening to the
Win Twice Wrestling Podcast
with Scott and Holly.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And this holds for everybody. Ho!
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. We always go over, brother, and that's the bottom line. Dig it? So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 72 of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast alongside your hosts Scott and Holly.
Hey.
You alright, Holly?
I'm good.
I saw something quite interesting recently and I think I shared it with you.
Okay.
I just Googled us because I'm that vain, right? Just because I wonder, because sometimes, it says, people have also looked for this.
Sure.
So I just searched us and I thought, I have no idea where we are in any sort of like ranking system on Spotify or iTunes or whatever. And I saw a list that showed we're 50-something. That's good.
Take that.
Yeah, that's very good. And another one we were slightly lower, but we were also in that same list ahead of Eric Bischoff, which I'll take. Because in no circumstances should we be beating anyone within the wrestling industry. And the ones at the top of the list are the ones you'd expect, so I feel comfortable that there's a legitimacy to them. But
right.
yeah, just thought that was worth shouting
Yeah.
out. I think we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Which show have we picked for this one, Holly?
We have picked In Your House, numero
Oh, God, she's committed now.
3.
Numero 3. Thank you, David Moyes. That is brilliant. Have you ever seen that clip, by the way?
Yes, of course so.
Of course you have. So, for the uneducated with Holly's Spanish there, it's WWF
Spanglish.
In Your House 3 triple header.
Oh, yes, of course it is.
Yes. So, again, when they first did the show, they hadn't given it the name. It was done, and he said posthumously, but the show didn't die.
Yes.
Well, we'll be the judge of that. But, yeah, they gave this name after the fact. We've done In Your House 1 and 2 and like 14 as well, didn't we? We did another one.
Was it
17?
17. 14's one we've been asked to do, so we'll have to come out of order at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I was quite upset. I don't know why. I get a bit OCD on
really?
orders. It's like if someone
I
said,
don't.
you have to do WrestleMania 25 next. No.
Oh,
No, honestly,
okay.
someone could pay me to do that one. No. No, it
So
has
if
to
someone
be
said, I'm going to pay you to do it, you'd still say no?
in order. On WrestleManias, yes. It depends. What are they
Really?
offering?
Yeah, exactly. See, we don't know.
If it's like 20 quid, no.
No, I still would.
No, I know you would.
20 quid, yeah.
No,
Sorry.
I know you would, but no. No, it has to be done in the order for WrestleMania.
Fair.
Certain things, like other ones I'm fine with,
Yeah.
obviously, but WrestleMania seems to be an important one. And if we ever get to doing a Starrcade journey, I would want to do that in order as well.
Right.
I also want to do, not Night of Champions, what's it called? Clash of Champions in order. We've seen the first one.
Oh, that thing. Oh, I don't want to
There are
do
good
that.
shows in there, don't worry about it. But the second one is nowhere to be found, which is annoying
that's
me.
such a shame.
Especially when 3, 4, 5 and 6 are available. So I could still do it just to prove a point that I can be flexible sometimes.
Or we could just wait and really just wait for 2 to appear.
Do you know what?
Let's really wait.
I will make that deal if we can also avoid any Randy Orton show ever. And Jeff Hardy show.
Well, that's different.
Oh, why?
Because you're getting rid of 2 people that probably feature in quite a lot of things.
That's a shame, isn't it?
All I'm saying is let's just not watch that absolute rubbish ever again.
Oh, well, if we're not watching rubbish, that rules out most of the wrestling shows out there, to be fair.
Fair point.
But yes, WWF In Your House 3 triple header took place on the 24th of September 1995, right in the dearth of WWF mediocrity. The venue was Saginaw Civic Center in Saginaw, Michigan. You know who that's... who's a hometown boy? Well, I say hometown, home state boy from there.
Michigan.
They're on the show.
Diesel.
Yeah. No, someone with wind.
Well, you never know.
The attendance of the night was 5,146 and the buy rate was a paltry 160,000.
Okay.
Tagline.
Come on.
I love a tagline. And this, I'm pretty sure I've seen this film actually. 3 belts, 1 match. So that's the tagline for those wondering out there. I don't know why. Finding the taglines, the worse a tagline is, the more excited I am. And this is up there.
Yeah.
Also, the next show that we're covering also has a tagline which surprised me, seeing as it's very much in the future from this event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got that
Oh,
listed
okay. You've
down.
already found that, haven't you?
Of course I found it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wikipedia is your friend.
It is.
So we're back on the house. Back on the
Back on the house
journey. Back on the In Your House journey.
Yes.
We've seen things
Yes.
during this show. We've seen a flying Hercucci.
Yes.
We have seen Bret Hart seems to be a regular theme.
Of
We've seen Sid Vicious over deliver in the very first one, I
Yes.
believe. It's seeing as it was in 1995, and I cannot express how bad WWF was in that time in general.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that I haven't completely gone, fuck this shit, and got angry. Because you can tell when I've seen too many things that are bad in a particular show, because I get more viscerally
Yes.
enraged by it. And we haven't had that yet. And given that we're in 1995,
Okay.
I'm fully expecting it to hit. And do I tell you this?
I don't know.
As we go through, like, 'cause I'm sure we'll carry on doing In Your House, it's not necessarily one show after the other.
Yes.
The next one, I believe, is the worst one out of all of them.
Oh, really?
Yes. And in the main event is the British Bulldog.
Oh.
I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one that is absolute turgid nonsense.
Oh, good. I'm so excited.
But we're on the doorstep of it. So once we've done it, it's done.
Yeah, true.
So that's the way I'm trying to look at it with some of this stuff as well.
Okay.
They're not all going to be surefire
Oh, I
successes.
know.
I feel like when we've gone through a couple where either you or I go, do you know what, this really isn't good.
Yes.
I go, do you know what Hollywood like? Let's get an NXT takeover in there.
Yeah.
Let's
that's
just
my
slide
safe
that in
place,
there,
isn't it?
and then Holly it refreshes.
Brings me back a bit.
Yeah, recharges the batteries
it's so
for Holly.
true, actually. If we have something that's really bad, I need the next thing to
The
have
next
something.
thing you said, the NXT thing.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely intentional.
Oh, for sure. Little twinkle in her eye.
The next thing has to have at least one thing or something that I'm going to be like, ooh.
So Baron Corbin was the case in the last
Yes,
one. To be
it
fair, the
was.
quality of the shows have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Except for stuff that Mr. Natty is in.
Oh.
But we don't need to talk about
No,
Tyson
thank you.
Kidd just at this juncture. So let's kick into gear and go into the show that is on the table before us. So given the depleted roster of the WWF in 1995, how wise do you think it was that they put all of their proverbial eggs in one basket, with most of their points of interest all being in the main event?
I'm all right with it.
Really?
Yes.
So a show that's so, in theory, top-heavy, because obviously you've got... So the main event for this show
Yeah.
is the WWF Tag Team Champions in Yokozuna and Owen Hart, we'll get to that later,
Yeah.
against the WWF Champion and the Intercontinental Champion in Diesel and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Big
So
fan.
whoever gets the pinfall on the other person, they win that title. So if Shawn and Diesel pin either Yoko or Owen, again, we'll get to that later,
Yeah.
they become the tag team champions. If vice versa, one of them get pinned, they lose their singles title
Yeah.
to whoever pinned them. You're probably okay with that as a concept.
Quite liked that.
I thought you would be.
It's a bit different for me. Like, I'd quite liked it.
And you're thinking, well, it makes sense as well, because if you lose in a match, why wouldn't the other person become the champion?
Exactly.
Yeah.
My simple mind.
I never
quite
said that.
enjoyed it. I did. It's fine. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
But
I
did-
can understand why people wouldn't like it. But for me, the concept
Yeah.
before seeing it, I was all right with it.
I think what genuinely, like, it wasn't the principle of the match. It was the fact that when I realised that was the main event, my brain started going, who else have they got at this
I see
time?
what you're saying, because they've
that's-
kind of put everyone in that top bracket.
Because they've got to then fill. It's a 2-hour show, or near enough a 2-hour
Yes.
show. That main event with Yoko in, that ain't going more than 15-20 minutes.
Yep, I did know that
Yeah.
as well.
So we've got an hour and 30 left,
Yes.
where we've got to fill it with matches. I mean, granted, they did have other people that they used, and I wasn't particularly annoyed for the most part who made it onto the show.
Okay.
Match 1, interesting. And we've got someone pulling double duty, which we'll get into
Yes.
later on. But I was concerned. I thought, oh my God, this could be awful.
Oh, okay.
This really could be awful.
I think the
I don't think it was.
No, I think the benefit of me not remembering a lot of things sometimes
It was all going to be a
is
surprise.
that I didn't look at that main event and go, God, who the hell else is going to be here? I was just like, oh, okay, let's see what happens.
And I wrote this down prior to actually seeing the show. I'm saying this before I've actually watched the show, but I expect most of the In Your House pay-per-views to be lacking in quality, certainly for the first year or so of its existence. Bearing in mind that it's 1995. When we kind of get to 97, we've then got like more like Stone Cold Steve Austin's in play and stuff, so that's good. But this time, we don't.
Yeah, okay.
We really don't.
Slim pickings.
It very much so. So let's go to the beginning of the show. We start with a rotating granite cube with the WWF logo engraved into each side as a voiceover informs us that the WWF has been the revolutionary force in sports entertainment for over 50 years.
No one got my little guess the show this time either.
No, one guy shouted WCW, which is a company, but I was willing to overlook that, to be fair.
Yeah, I just thought I'd make it really hard this time.
Yeah, to be fair, that was probably the intro for like so many shows.
But otherwise, certain people
Keith
gets it every damn time.
he's guessed wrong though before in a WrestleMania. He got the aesthetics wrong, I believe.
Oh yes.
But
yes.
he
But
quickly
I like
righted
to-
himself. Yeah.
Now I like to make it a proper challenge.
I think most people are looking at, why is she wiggling her toes? Like, what's she doing?
Feet are always in the way.
Yeah,
I like
OnlyFans
it.
coming soon. Once this is dissipated, we head straight into footage of the WWF Champion Diesel, the Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels, and the WWF Tag Team Champions Yokozuna and Owen Hart, who together make up the night's main event. We're informed that Diesel is teaming up alongside his best friend to take on arguably the greatest tag team champions in WWF history. That's a bold claim.
Okay.
That's a super bold claim. Shawn and Diesel are also referred to as the two dudes with attitude, and Holly, I have never been more flaccid in my entire life.
It's so cheesy.
It gets worse.
It's so cheesy, but I'm actually here for it.
But do you know what? They weren't going for cheesy then. They were going for, this is cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not, obviously, but I don't know. I think you can tell I was in a decent mood watching this because it didn't annoy me. I thought it was hilarious.
Okay. I get a bit angry about it later, but save that for a bit later on in the journey. In spite of that, I must admit to being intrigued about this match. An added stipulation to this match, should either Shawn Michaels or Diesel lose the match tonight, they also lose their title belt. We've already kind of covered this, but do you feel like that is a bonus, or is it more of a distraction, or...
I think there should be a stipulation in most matches.
Do you also think, though, that any time a champion is in a match, assuming, like I said, unless it's, or even if it's in tag team, if they get pinned or submit at any point, they just lose their title to whoever...
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be chaos.
Yeah.
That would be unmitigated chaos.
But it would stop some people having, like, ridiculously long title reigns.
Would it? I think
which
they'd
get a
just
bit
wrestle
boring.
less, like Roman Reigns did.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it wasn't like he was competing week in, week
No, he
out.
wasn't, was he, at that time?
No, he'd gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I just quite liked it. I thought it was
Okay.
a good little twist.
The opening package continues with a series of in-ring highlights from all four men before heading into the In Your House generic video introduction featuring highlights from the previous In Your House. Holly, what do you think of this sassy number of a song for In Your House?
It's so cheesy.
In Your House.
It's so cheesy. I think I said it before. It just reminds me of that TV show with Pat Sharp, the
Oh my
Fun
God,
House.
yeah.
It reminds me of that sort of title music. It's so cheesy, but it's fine. Okay, if that's what they're going for, fine.
Spoiler alert, Pat Sharp did not feature in this show.
No, that would have been epic.
There weren't even that many mulleted people in this
No.
show. Well,
What year is it? 95.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, 80s was a good mullet season,
Oh yeah.
but 90s was also
Mullets and
the
tash.
yeah.
back then.
Oh,
Strong tash.
I'm just thinking what Razor used to look like before he became Mr. Ramon.
Oh.
Yeah, the Diamond Stud. You've not seen him in action.
No.
That's a reason to watch some of the WCW stuff that you
Is
don't
it
want
though?
to.
Because you know how I feel about him. and then-
DDP's his manager. Oh, he's beefier then. Like he's
Okay.
genuinely stacked,
Right.
and he's got a Burt Selleck, Tash, and
Oh,
everything.
I like a bit of Tom Selleck.
Burt Selleck. I fucking did it again. What is
I
it about
I thought you were doing two different people. I don't know who.
Tom
as
Selleck
in-
and Burt Reynolds?
Yeah.
Oh, I threw them together. So Burt Selleck and Tom.
Is it Kurt Reynolds?
Kurt Reynolds.
Kurt or Burt?
Burt.
Who is it?
Yeah, look it up.
Oh, I will. It's fine.
Are you thinking Kurt Russell?
More than likely.
Yeah.
As long
Fair.
as there's a tash, I don't care.
What's happened? Kurt Russell doesn't have a tash.
I don't know who all these people are.
Are you going to look up Burt Reynolds now?
Yeah, that's exactly who I thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And we know who Tom Selleck is.
Absolutely. Legend.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Segue.
Right, she's back in the room,
Sorry.
everyone. Yeah. Finally, a graphical image appears of a ladder being pushed to the front door of the house. Up the ladder ascends... What? Up the ladder ascends the In Your House logo until it disappears through the window, and we head live to the arena. So it's a break-in. Forcible entry. Immediately, we are greeted with a raspy voice of Vince McMahon, who welcomes us to Saginaw, Michigan, and the In Your House pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Said it before and I'll say it again. The In Your House logo being reflected onto the ring canvas, big fan of. Don't know why. Really like it. Pleasingly, we see that joining Vince on commentary is Jerry the King Lawler, not that that's the pleasing part, and good old non-cowboy hat wearing JR.
Oh, I know.
Looks weird, doesn't it?
It doesn't sit right yet.
We haven't really seen, apart from like WrestleMania and some of, well, no, we have seen him in loads of shows where he's had the cowboy hat on, even in the podcast, but obviously the older stuff, he didn't have that as part of his gimmick yet.
No.
And but he's not too far away from that. We're getting near the comfortable zone.
Okay.
The three men are stood at ringside with Vince continuing to shout as he introduces his co-commentators. King says that tonight this is the biggest triple header to come out of Michigan since the Supremes. He predicts that Owen Hart will defeat Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental title. Conversely, JR believes that Yokozuna will become the Intercontinental champion. One thing they do agree on, though, is that Shawn Michaels will be the loser in this match.
Oh.
Well, they both said he's going to lose.
Oh.
Yeah. Straight into match number 1,
Yes.
Holly. Savio Vega versus Waylon Mercy. I'm just going to let that hang out there for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of visual things to take in. Talk to me about Waylon Mercy, please.
Yeah. It's a look.
It's a look.
It's a look. And then he interested me so much that he made me Google him.
Oh, okay, I've got some information on him, so you probably
I'll
already know it
pretend
then.
that I don't know it if it's what I think it is.
Probably, to be fair. So, it's in a little bit because he wasn't the first one to come out. With Puerto Rican flag in hand, down to the ring for the opening match comes Savio Vega. Being that Spanish is his mother tongue, he obviously takes a moment to shake the hands of the Spanish announce team. As Lawler discusses the abomination on the back of Savio's head, we head to footage from the previous In Your House where Savio Vega made the save for Razor Ramon.
Yay.
JL makes a bizarre comment saying Waylon Mercy is a big man if you know what he means. Direct quote.
Yeah,
Has JL been hog watching in the showers again?
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like King's obviously got the women's locker room covered off,
Yeah,
but
fair.
maybe there's a couple holes that JR's been spying through on the men's side. I don't know. But I don't know what he means by that. He's a big man, if you know what I mean. Well, yeah, he's 6'7" or whatever he is. That's a big man. But the way he said, if you know what I mean, suggests you're not referring to his actual height.
We'll never know.
Well, maybe there's a story about his sausage somewhere online. Holly, that's your homework.
Oh.
His opponent tonight is Waylon Mercy. Oh boy, where do we start with Mr. Mercy? So Waylon Mercy was a character played by Dan Spivey, a former tag team partner of both Mean Mark Calloway and Sid Vicious. Do you know who Mean Mark Calloway is?
That's the Undertaker.
It is indeed.
Are you impressed?
Yeah. Both of these teams were called the Skyscrapers. Waylon Mercy had a short-lived run in the WWF, which I believe only extended as far as 10 televised matches. His character was very odd and offbeat, and has drawn some comparisons to a future Bray Wyatt in the early days of the Wyatt family. Holly's kind of nodding her head like she may have expected this. So what did your research unearth?
So mine just said that he was listed as being trained by Rick Martel, Dusty Rhodes and Barry Windham.
Yeah.
And then it just said, this is straight off of our friend Wikipedia.
Okay.
It just said he helped to develop the Bray Wyatt character. His last wrestling persona, Waylon Mercy, was inspired by De Niro's portrayal of Max Cady in the 1991 remake of Cape Fear.
Okay.
While he only worked a few matches under the name, he later inspired the creation of the Bray Wyatt character as Spivey worked with Wyndham Rotunda to initially develop it.
There you go.
Yeah.
You could see the similarities. He's a bit too happy-go-lucky version of him, but you can tell there's something not quite right. But with the open kind of summery shirts and you can definitely see the similarities.
Yeah.
Dave Spivey's a tough son of a bastard as well. He really is I think he had a few potential interesting altercations backstage, not in the WWF necessarily, where and people didn't really want to fuck with him. You wouldn't have necessarily thought it. Yes, he's a big guy, but
He's
that
a big
doesn't.
guy, but he doesn't look. His character works because he kind of looks like happy, but a bit unhinged.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look
No.
imposing.
No.
Not like
When he was in the Skyscrapers, he looked more so. If you have a look at him now, I think he'd be your type. Like, I know he's... No, seriously. I'm going to... Whilst Holly looks up what Dave Spivey currently looks like, because I saw him in an interview, and he was ticking a lot of the Holly boxes, I'll say that. To be fair, it's probably going to show, unless you say older, maybe it's... Or the face doesn't suggest that... Or maybe I'm wide of the mark on this one, but I saw him getting interviewed about 10 years ago, and I thought, yeah...
I cannot find anything.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see what I can do.
Maybe okay.
Dan Spivey older or shaved head? That gives a bit of a giveaway as to what's going on.
Oh.
So I think if we go Dan Spivey, shaved
We
head.
can't just say that everyone with a shaved
No, he's
head
got he's got a decent face. Like it way more suits that than he does what he had going on as Waylon Mercy.
I see. Right, yeah. I mean, he's quite old.
Well, yes, I didn't mean literally have a go, Holly. Look, but
I imagine
for an older
a
gentleman,
younger version. Yeah, for an older gentleman.
yeah, it's all right. Which you wouldn't have expected seeing him rock out as Waylon Mercy.
No, true.
Vince also makes an odd comment as Waylon makes his way down to the ring, saying that Mr. Mercy was crushing worms, if you know what he means.
I don't know what any of these people mean.
No, he literally means crushing worms because we see it in a bit.
Oh.
It's, quite gross. We then head to a double feature, which shows Waylon Mercy talking to the camera whilst being sat down, and he calmly tells us that any of the wrestlers touch him, he's going to get crushed like the worm on his arm. As he says that, he crushes the worm underneath his palm, and I cannot say that no animals were harmed in the making of this clip.
So gross.
When the two men come face to face in the centre of the ring, Savio begins dancing away as Waylon offers his hand in friendship. Now it's Waylon's turn to begin dancing, and this is already very fucking odd. The bell sounds, but before we get into the action of it, whose corner are you in, Holly?
I was a teeny little bit torn
Okay.
because obviously Vega did help out
Your boy, yeah.
the boy, but I really actually liked knowing nothing about him. I really actually liked the character of Waylon Mercy.
So you're in Waylon Mercy's corner.
I just like the character.
Interesting. The bell sounds, and after both men continue to dance for a second, they do indeed shake hands. Once they release their grip, Savio turns his back to walk towards the corner, but is blindsided and only just avoids the charging Mercy, who looks to connect with an axe handle. Already lost you. Vega unloads with a series of punches in the corner and a knife-edge chop for good measure. Whip sends Waylon to the buckles, and Savio resumes unloading with punches and chops. Corner whip is reversed, but then Waylon charges in. Vega steps out of the way to avoid impact. Savio begins working over the arm with punches and an arm wringer before yanking his opponent down to the canvas off a whip. Arm lock is in place as King reassures us that Waylon is simply a slow starter. They return to their feet, from where Savio quickly yanks Mercy back down to the canvas by the arm. Back on their feet, Waylon counters a whip and connects with a knee to the midsection. He then measures and connects with a stiff clothesline that puts Savio down. They get thrown between the ropes. To the outside and is quickly... Okay, Savio, they. How's Savio changed to they? Savio gets quickly thrown between the ropes to the outside and is followed by Waylon, who dishes out a number of chops from the batshit crazy Butcher's counter. Ooh. Big body slam on the floor before Waylon rolls Savio back into the ring. A cravat necklock is applied, which is a real treat for the mid-90s, but is only in place for a moment before Waylon sends Savio to the ropes and connects with a stun gun upon his return. That was awkward. Mm-hmm. That didn't look good at all.
It did not.
We get a cover and a near fall, which allows Vince to do his classic 1, 2, oh yes, he got him. No, he didn't. Vega is choked over the top rope and eats a series of left hands whilst on his knees in the corner. Oh God help us, we get a picture-in-picture of Doc Hendricks, who informs us that he hates to interrupt such a great match, which is a lie on both counts, but the news is mind-boggling. Owen Hart is not in the building, and he has no ideal, is what he says, no ideal what the repercussions will be. Thanks, Doc. Honestly, fuck that guy. He really gets on my tits every time I see him.
Yeah.
I just see him and go, oh, it's
really annoy you that much?
Yeah, he does. He's the Jimmy Hart for me.
Is he your...
He is
okay,
Jimmy Hart,
fair,
yeah.
Fair.
Oh, God help us. Oh, no, we've done that. I'm just so upset I want to read it again. Meanwhile, in the ring, Waylon connects with a sidewalk slam and gets a 2 count. Off the ropes comes Mercy, but he misses with an elbow drop. Waylon manages to reverse a whip and slaps on a sleeper hold. Vince, we have Savio Vega going to sleep on pay-per-view. And we also have me falling asleep as I watch this. McMahon tells us that Waylon has perfected this hold, which is all the more laughable when you see how he has actually got it applied. The crowd are behind Savio, who looks to be losing steam, but in his last effort he runs towards the corner and drops, causing Waylon to hit the top buckle face first. King is still frustrated at what Savio has designed on the back of his head, which I believe to be a crown or the hang loose sign for anyone that gives a shit, and Holly is frustrated when Waylon applies a sleeper hold for the second time.
Yes, I do have written down. Boo.
Quick escape this time by Vega, who delivers a back suplex, and both men are now down. They make it back to their feet and begin exchanging punches that Vega actually gets the better of, and he connects with a jumping headbutt. Very impressive big boot connects, like it was elastic how his leg went up, actually, with the face of Waylon, dropping him to the canvas. Savio pulls the big man to his feet and connects with a spinning leg lariat. What's your face for?
Does he?
He helps him get to his feet.
I don't know if it's this. It must be this one. There's one where I think it's the cameraman just does him a bit dirty, and it's like probably catches him a little bit.
I don't remember, if I'm honest, so it could be. He pulls Big Man to his feet with a spinning leg lariat, hooks the leg, and gets a 1-2 no. Mercy counters a whip but is dropped with a running bulldog, and we get another 2 count for the Puerto Rican star. A unique cradle pin by Savio doesn't get the job done, albeit it does look impressive. Vega ducks too early off a whip and eats a kick to the face before being dropped with a clothesline. Nasty looking brainbuster scores from Waylon, and Holly flinches, I'm sure, and we get the 1-2 no. That actually did surprise me. Thought that would be over there.
I kind of hoped
because that looked brutal.
Because I didn't like that at all.
No. Backdrop driver by Mercy only gets a count of 2. Vega slips out the back door of a body slam attempt and connects with a bridging German suplex that earns him a near fall. Fair fucks, the last couple of minutes have actually been pretty good on this.
Yeah, really good.
Savio hits the ropes and connects with a spinning heel kick. I think that was the shit one.
Oh, I think, it's definitely that one, because I've put a question mark next to it.
Yeah. Hook of the leg, and we get the 1-2-3. Savio Vega is your winner by pinfall. Vince obviously calls it a tremendous manoeuvre.
Exactly what I've got.
And even uses the phrase, he polished him off. Oh, I didn't see that. JR could tell us, though.
Good Lord.
What did you think of this match? What was your star rating?
Do you know what? I did actually enjoy it. For a starting match, this was spot on for me.
Okay.
It did start a little tentatively, shall we say.
That is fair.
But the last couple of minutes, really enjoyed it. I gave it 2.75, and I put next to it a tremendous manoeuvre.
A tremendous manoeuvre indeed. I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah.
I think because the first 2/3 of it, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then it really got better, which dragged it from being like a half-star thing to me to a 2-star. I think I did debate going a bit higher, but there's something that just held me off on it. Because apart from that little flurry, where Waylon hit the brainbuster, he also hit the backdrop driver. Waylon's offense was very boring.
Okay.
So it was like there was a sleeper hold, a lot of clotheslines, and some punches and chops.
Okay.
The cravat actually deserved it. Do you know what? This is the first time I'm going to go back on my decision. I'm going to give it 2.5.
Ooh.
Because I can't say it was less than, especially for this era, I can't say that it was under average. So I'll say 2.5.
Lovely.
I've never done that before.
No, I know.
Never done that before. But when I just thought about the cravat, I went, I've got to give some points for a cravat necklock. Come on now. I've just entitled this section because I don't know what backstage stuff we're going to see. So I just go based on one of the first things I see. I've put, much like Mr. Fuji, Doc Hendricks investigates. Vince now sends us back to Doc Hendricks, who continues his investigation after dropping that mind-blowing news, in parentheses, partway through the opening match. Doc heads into the locker room of the Tag Team Champions, where we see Jim Cornette, speaking of, Mr. Fuji, and Yokozuna all in discussion with WWF President Gorilla Monsoon. It's a happening.
Nice, yeah.
Cornette is heard shouting, "What do you think he is, homing pigeon?" About Owen.
Oh, I see.
Jim stresses that Owen is here, just not physically in the room with them. Gorilla says that he doesn't see him anywhere. Cornette clarifies that, Owen is in Michigan, and that he will be here come the time of the main event.
I liked this to me is like out but not out.
Yeah.
He's not here, but he's here.
Yeah.
That tickled me.
Jim Cornette's good. I know
that did tickle me. He does wind me up, but it did tickle me.
But he also does. He's very quick-witted.
Mm-hmm.
His off-the-cuff promos. Oh, this is going to be a very bold thing to say.
Okay.
His off-the-cuff promos, because he has just got you know how when King is making these jokes on commentary, you've got these somewhere stored in your brain,
waiting for the time to use them.
Jim Cornette has got a litany of things in his head that he can use to basically verbally eviscerate someone, and he's so quick-witted that he's probably one of the best off-the-cuff promos that you'll see, certainly at this time.
Okay.
So I don't dislike Cornette.
Yeah.
I know you're not his biggest fan, but
Yeah.
probably for the right reasons.
I think it's he's doing something right.
Exactly.
He's irritating me.
Exactly.
He doesn't just irritate me by standing there, unlike other people.
Yes. Well, to be fair, Jimmy Hart doesn't annoy you by standing there, does he?
Stupid megaphone.
I still can't believe he made the Holly Hall of Fame.
No, I'm disappointed in myself.
Well, I'd love if he gets back on there again. That'd be amazing. Jim only now notices the presence of Doc and snaps, "What do you want?" A haircut, a new suit, something of interest to say, a purpose for existing, but those are just my thoughts. Doc ignores him and asks the president of the... Doc ignores him and asks the president if the triple-header main event is in jeopardy tonight. As far as Gorilla is concerned, the match is not in jeopardy and will go ahead regardless. It's amazing how many times that question gets asked and that response is given. That's the first time. We get that 3 more times at least.
Just ask it once. There's your answer.
It's not in jeopardy. Like, if I'm Gorilla, I'm going, are you deaf and dumb? Like, what is wrong with you? Oh, just fucking Doc. Okay. Match number 2.
Yes.
I'm so interested to see what you think about this as a matchup.
Yeah.
We've got Psycho Sid with Ted DiBiase versus Henry O'Godwin. I'm just going to let that, again, sit out there for a while, and I'll let Holly give her initial thoughts.
I really feel like something's happened to me because I was in a horrendously good mood watching this, and I was absolutely all right with this.
Okay, so...
I like Psycho Sid, right?
Right.
I
Well,
don't-
he delivered on the first one
Exactly.
for me, so I'm fine with that.
And then, to be fair, at first when I did hear it was Henry Godwin, I was a bit like,
Have we seen... Oh, we saw him on a WrestleMania, didn't we?
yeah. But, 2 big guys.
Yeah, he is big.
Like, it makes sense.
Also bringing a mullet to the table.
Yes. I was all right.
Both men brought a mullet to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Battle of the mullets.
I was all right with it. There's one person that is here, not in the match, just
Ted DiBiase?
irritates. He annoys me so much.
Everyone's got a price on
So
him.
much. He's such a smug little bastard. And
Brilliant.
I know that's the character.
Yeah.
So again, he's doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Just irritates me by being there.
Whose corner were you in?
Sid.
Even with DiBiase dragging him down?
Yes, but
Okay.
I won't say anything, but I knew what would happen at the end was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that made it even better.
I'll tell you what, I thought it was actually quite well done.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in a
Yes.
second. So making his way to the ring is the man of the moment from the second In Your House pay-per-view, Psycho Sid. I put second, I thought it was the first.
Don't ask him.
Either way, we know what I mean.
He
We
was
know
in
what
it.
I mean. We see recent footage of Sid getting slopped by Henry Godwin before going absolutely fucking nuts backstage, smashing around trash cans and bin bags.
Great.
Yep. Like a big man in a rage. JR informs us that having spoken to Henry backstage, the pig farmer is in bad shape with his back, courtesy of punishment doled out by Psycho Sid. As Godwin makes his way down to the ring, we see footage from Raw of him throwing the slot bucket over the $1 Million Man, before later being powerbombed on the blue mats by Sid. That's gotta suck.
Yep.
Yes, Holly, what you are hearing are pig noises and a farmer saying things like, "Come on," as Henry Godwin's entrance music.
It's so good. It's so bad, it's good.
Oh, Holly.
Yes.
Is that Dangerous Danny Davis, I spy, as referee for this
Right,
match?
This guy.
It was. The bell sounds and we get a "Sue" from the Hogman. I aimed away
Jesus.
from the mic, so that's
Okay,
fine. You can tell by the bar that is
Fair
fine.
enough. Okay. I'm not going to get any messages from people telling me they've gone deaf.
Well, you won't have heard it then.
Yeah, true.
So I don't see the problem. Get on board, all right? Get with the programme. Yeah, I have learnt that if it's going to be a proper shouty one, I need to aim away from the
Okay.
mic so it can still be picked up.
Nice.
But there are some where I feel like you need to be intense with it. Like a Warrior one, I feel like I need to be
you
right
have
in
no
the...
choice,
Yeah, exactly. Warrior does not feature on this event, so don't worry. I think your ears are saved because that's the only bit I've got the quotation bits on.
There's no more impressions.
No, that sounded sarcastic. I'm not sure how I feel about
wasn't.
that. I don't think so. I can't remember
There's
who
got
else.
to be some more Vince things.
Oh yeah,
There's
Vince
gotta
is
be.
going to be an ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. They're not good impressions, but they're something that I will do. We look into the slot bucket, which looks more like vomit than I care to go into. The 2 big men circle one another until they lock up. Godwin gets the better of it and backs Sid into the corner, but the position is quickly reversed. No clean break, however, but Sid pulls his arm comically so far backwards that Godwin had time to leave the ring, travel back to his farm, check on the pigs, travel all the way back to the arena, and still move out of the way of the punch. Big rights land from Godwin, but his that is my favourite typo I've seen in a long time. So first of all, when I said big rights, it's done it like it's Paul Paul White, the Big Show, big rights. Okay, so with a W
like
in
W
there.
rights,
Yeah.
yeah.
Land from Godwin, but his whipper is reversed.
Ooh,
oh, hello. It's been a while since
cheeky.
I've had my whipper reversed, I tell you.
God.
So all the helicoptering as well the other night really took it out of me. However, he grabbed Sid, Sid spelt with Y, by the way here, by the hair and slams him face first into the canvas. Another cry for the pigs rings out before he resumes with right hands. Sid is sent between the ropes and onto the apron, where he is met with a stiff clothesline that knocks him down to the floor. Whilst he's down there, he is sure to place his foot on the commentary table from his back to stretch out his hamstring. You're not really selling here, Sid, are you?
No.
You're just going, oh, that's quite nice, actually.
I've got a bit of a cramp. Let me just
let's
stretch.
do that. Back on the apron, and Godwin manages to suplex the big man back into the ring, which is no small feat.
Yeah.
Attempt at a body slam, but Godwin's back gives out. Why it gives out for that and not the suplex, I don't know. And whilst recovering, he's sent flying out of the ring courtesy of a running knee. With the official distracted, the $1 Million Man lays in the boots, sullying his premium loafers with the stench of agricultural peasantry.
Oh, check you with the descriptive words.
Yes, thank you. There's a bit later on where I was like, oh my god, this is what I seem like to you, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it will make sense when we get there.
They must use long words at some point later.
Yeah, a little bit. Sid drops down from the ring apron, connecting with a double axe handle, and proceeds to land a series of kicks. He returns to the apron once more to connect with a further axe handle, and I do not think the pace will quicken much from here.
That did upset me.
Yep. They return to the ring where Sid delivers a big forearm to the back. Godwin goes to fight back, but is summarily, there we go, clubbed. Sommelier, very nice, yeah, Laurence Olivier. Clubbed back, Laurence Olivier'd back down to the canvas. In the corner, Sid lands big bolo.
This is going so well.
It's going so well.
Big polos.
In the corner, Sid lands a few Tic Tacs. Sid lands big bolo punches to Godwin's internal slot bucket before whipping him hard into the opposite buckles. Running kick to the midsection lands, as does the second. Measured punch lands to the chest, and now Sid kicks Godwin squarely in the ribs. Camel clutch applied, and Lawler quizzes JR if he knows what the state motto of Arkansas is. The answer, according to the King, is, at least we're not Oklahoma. So, shots fired.
God.
With Godwin in this position, the camera close-up makes him look more like Mick Foley with his missing teeth than he does himself.
Yeah, agree.
Just as the pig farmer looks to fight his way back to his feet, Sid drops his body weight on the lower back. Another axe handle to the spine drops Godwin, and a second one follows in short order. Sid tears away at the face before returning once more to the camel clutch position. Godwin fights free with a series of elbows, but gets quickly put back in his place courtesy of one big right. Kicks in the corner from Sid, but on this occasion his running kick finds nothing but a really poor guillotine on the middle rope. Despite this, Sid still climbs to the middle rope, but when he leaps he is met with a punch to the midsection. Punch is blocked and Godwin unloads with a number of his own. He hits the ropes and sends Sid head over heels with a flying shoulder tackle. Pretty good. Whip sends Sid to the ropes where he is met with a kick to the gut, and this is followed up by a slop drop. Holly, here's what the finisher's called there.
Ooh.
Hook of the leg, but as I haven't seen a slop drop for a long time. Hook of the leg, but as the count is being made, DiBiase pulls him by the leg to break the pinfall. Is that not disqualification?
I would assume so, but who knows?
Apparently not.
Anymore.
Especially after last show, good God.
Exactly.
Godwin uses the momentum to slide to the outside of the ring, and he slowly marches down the $1 Million Man, who is backing off. Godwin points towards the slot bucket, but when he returns to the apron, he is met by Sid and a kick-punch combo. Sid is too slow in keeping any momentum and eats a flurry of right hands. Godwin hits the ropes but is tripped by DiBiase. Sid quickly capitalises with a leg drop to the back of the head and from his knees raises his hands in the air in premature victory. Jackknife powerbomb follows and we get the 1, 2, 3. Psycho Sid is your winner by pinfall. Having won the match, Sid mimics Godwin by nudging him out of the ring using his head like a rutting pig, causing King to erupt in childish laughter. Sid rolls to the outside where he and DiBiase argue over who gets to use the slop bucket.
This was like the Chuckle Brothers. To me, to you, to me.
As they continue their debate, Bam Bam Bigelow jumps, where from, I don't know, before he in turn is blindsided by the supreme fighting machine, Karma. Do you know who that is?
No.
Ho, train!
Oh!
Yeah. Also, Papa Shango.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you like Who's Papa Shango, aren't you?
Yeah, but
The guy with the skull paint face
Yes,
who ran out
yes.
face paint. There you
yeah.
go. Yeah, so that's all The Godfather.
Wow.
So he's done a lot in
Wow.
his time there. He comes out, starts fighting Bigelow. Also, he doesn't get a spot on the card for an actual match, I noticed, but
No.
that's fine. Weirdly, there looks to be... As Sid and Karma focus their attention on Bigelow, Godwin walks up behind the $1 Million Man and changes the direction of the slot bucket so that it empties on Ted DiBiase. It's actually done quite well,
I enjoyed that.
because the momentum of it does look quite natural. Weirdly, there looks to be some sort of tree in the bucket, and it's now lodged down the collar of DiBiase's jacket. And I'm like, what is that? It's like a branch of a fern or something. It's really odd. Don't know what it is. What for seasoning?
Bit of rosemary
Yeah,
in there.
season the slop, shall we? Holly, what do you think of this match?
I thought it was fine. It was fine
Okay.
for me. It wasn't as good as the first one,
No, that's fair to say.
so I gave it 2.5.
Oh my god.
But again,
You were in a good mood.
I really was. God help me if I'm turning into someone that is actually perpetually in good moods.
I'm okay with it.
I just thought it was alright. It wasn't too long either. Quite happy seeing DiBiase covered in slop. That was fine. I mean, yeah, the pace could have been a little bit quicker. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from Sid, but I was
Yeah.
alright with it.
0.75 stars,
shit.
and that was a push.
Wow.
The actual in-ring action, boring,
Yeah.
repetitive. Punch, kick, axe handle, camel clutch, punch, kick, clothesline, punch, kick, suplex from the apron. That was good.
Yes, that was.
Which is what got it the 0.75.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, didn't care.
Okay.
And I also think I had a bit of an issue with... I don't mind DiBiase being the manager of Sid. Sid doesn't need the help.
No,
Sid's
he
a
doesn't.
big fucking guy.
Yeah.
DiBiase should just be there laughing at how Sid takes people apart.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be trying to get involved at all, because then it lessens Sid.
I was going to say it makes him less imposing, the fact that he needs the help.
I mean, he only won this because DiBiase interfered, because the slop drop, in theory, would have done it. So,
Yeah, true.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't like the way how it makes Sid look. Whereas in the match against Diesel,
Yeah.
I didn't feel the same. Sid was just on point in that one.
Yeah.
And this one, just didn't land for me at all.
Okay.
The cameras take us backstage, where we see Doc Hendricks, still with the WWF president and Jim Cornette. Cornette is frustrated that he should be preparing with the British Bulldog instead of arguing the toss with Mr. Monsoon. Doc asks for the official decision, and he must be deaf as well as stupid, because I'm pretty sure Gorilla already said that the main event was going to take place whether Owen was here or not. Now Corny is annoyed and says, but what if Owen Hart doesn't get here in time? This in spite of him saying that Owen would definitely be here.
Not here, but here.
No, but here. The options: Yokozuna can single-handedly defend the tag team titles, or alternatively, Cornette can go out and find a tag team partner for the Japanese behemoth, and Gorilla will grant him the privilege of legally defending the tag team title as a co-holder. Cornette asks who the hell exactly he could get for that. Gorilla says that sounds like a you problem.
Yay! Best quote ever.
He didn't quite word it like that, but that was the gist. After Corny finishes his tailspin, he asks, should he find a partner for Yokozuna? If he wins the match, does he become either the Intercontinental Champion or WWF Champion? That's a fair question. Yeah. Gorilla confirms that those rights and privileges would also be applicable.
Absolutely.
Match number 3. On
Yes.
paper, okay.
Yes.
Come on then.
Yes.
British Bulldog versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Again, on paper,
Yeah.
I'm signed up for this one.
Me too.
Whose corner are you in?
Again, it's giving the split matches here.
Are we taking the
But-
Mank, or are we taking the
but-
child saver from fires?
I know, but I had to go with Bulldog because I know that doesn't last.
What?
As in, he's not exactly around for that long.
Oh, okay, he's around longer than Bam Bam is.
Well, that's a fair point, but it's got to be. It's got to be.
I go Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Bam Bam. I like the
Yeah.
British Bulldog, but
Yeah.
as soon as he got his hair cut, I remember growing up, I didn't care anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
After he dropped
Because-
the cornrows that were just bizarre.
No, I didn't mind because he also had the bit where he just had long, kind of like crimped hair, I guess is the way.
Okay.
So we haven't seen it, but the 1995 Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
you've probably seen the footage of. Do you know how that match ends?
No.
Okay, I won't tell you then. But he's got like
You
kind
can
of
tell me, I'll forget it in an
crimped
hour.
hair down to the shoulder.
Okay.
That to me is still in the OK Bulldog phase.
Oh, okay.
And then as soon as he gets his hair cut, it's like Samson. The power's gone for me.
Really?
It's completely gone. He looks so normal.
Oh.
I know he's like steroided out his
yeah,
nuts.
I remember him more looking like this.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's always long hair.
Okay.
It's
To me,
I've got him down there. You can't quite see him, but he's got the Union Jack.
Is it similar
there.
to like Bradshaw once he then had short hair?
Yeah, I mean, I liked
done?
Bradshaw less than I liked the Bulldog, but yes, the same
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bradshaw went from being the arse kicker from APA, cut his hair, and I'm like, oh, you're a bitch. Like, that's just something that just doesn't land for me.
Yeah, fair.
And Bulldog, I just weirdly, like I said, it makes him look so much smaller.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it just I wasn't not for me.
That's how you feel about it. It's fair.
Whereas I really like Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, if this man isn't on Outfit of the Night shortlist, we're going to have words.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just such a flame attire. It's amazing.
We'll get there. Let's not put the cart before the horse.
I haven't said that this show, so you're filling up the slack there.
There we go.
Again, the sarcasm in her honestly, disgusting. As Davey Boy Smith makes his way to the ring, we are shown footage from Raw within the past month where the Bulldog turned his back on Diesel. In fact, I think he had long hair there. That's the hair I'm talking about. Where he jumps in from behind. He definitely did.
Oh, clearly.
And the haircut must have been new because King even references it.
Oh, okay. He
So,
just
yeah.
had a little trim.
Yeah, big trim, yeah. He turned his back on Diesel and attacked him from behind, setting up for Mabel to deliver the killing blow. Holly, do you prefer the Bulldog with long hair or short hair?
Well, I would say I've got no preference.
Yeah?
It doesn't fuss me.
Okay.
I quite like this look on him.
Fine. I hate the one with jeans. This one I can deal with, but the one with jeans is no.
That one was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, against Crash Holly, Insurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was poo. This match, as a child, would really have excited me, given these two men were some of my favourites as a kid. I'm not opposed to it now either. Has to be said. When Bigelow enters the ring, he does a cartwheel that signals his in-ring pyro to commence. What a matchup! McMahon,
Yeah,
if that
fair.
wasn't obvious enough.
Yeah, no.
But that was after the cartwheel. It's not started yet. It's not started. The bell sounds and the two men begin to circle. Collar and elbow tie up and Davey slaps on a side headlock. Push off and shoulder tackle knocks the Bulldog down. After claiming that his hair was pulled, Bulldog begins jaw-jacking the fans in the front row.
Do you think he forgot that he's had it cut?
JR queries, what is there to pull? King says that he almost went for the Mexican hairless variety, but there are still a few spikes to be seen. Second lock-up and second side headlock by the Bulldog, who is once again pushed off, but ducks a clothesline only to be levelled with a shoulder tackle on his return. The Brit heads to the outside to gather himself. Back in the ring, and we now get a split screen that shows Jim Cornette backstage negotiating with Sid Vicious. Oh yeah, but is there money in that? It was so weird.
I know.
Like, Cornette's just talking to him, and then he just suddenly starts shouting, oh yeah, repeat, it's amazing.
Bizarre.
Tentative knuckle lock-up in the ring, but Davey quickly backs the big man into the corner after a kick. Corner whip is reversed, and Bulldog is sent for the ride on a hip toss. Actually, I want to go back to that split screen momentarily.
Yeah.
So we know that Cornette's trying to...
Gather a troop.
Yeah, basically recruit someone for the main event.
Yes.
Who did you think it was going to be?
Ooh.
Or did you think it was just Owen was going to be there?
I did think he would, but I know why he wasn't. So also...
I also know why he wasn't, and I
Okay.
wasn't sure if you looked it up.
No, I did know why he wasn't. And then I thought, who the hell are they going to get to replace him? But to be fair, when I saw the split screen with Sid, I thought, okay, fine. That not makes sense, but yeah, okay. Especially if they've not got many people to
Exactly that.
go with. But I didn't think it would be who it is.
There's a split screen later on for another negotiation that had me crying with laughter because it's so awkward. We'll get there.
The one I'm thinking of.
Definitely
It's
is.
got to be.
Because I think there is only one other,
Yeah, I think it's got to
and
be.
it's just so awkward and bad.
Yeah.
Like, don't play that.
I really hoped that when I saw that, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but when it's that one, inside I went, no.
Yes.
No,
100%.
no,
Yeah, and I
no.
know exactly why. There's only so much meat that can go on the scales. Yeah. Back elbow puts Davey down again, as does the following body slam, but the big elbow drop misses the target. Snapmare and reverse chinlock applied by the Bulldog. Bigelow makes it back to his feet and powers Davey overhead to the canvas to break the hold. This time, it's a falling headbutt that misses the mark. Forearms and headbutt score from Davey, who impressively connects with a vertical suplex. But Bigelow is quickly back on his feet, no selling it.
No.
When the Bulldog turns around, he's levelled with a clothesline. Fine with that. Because also, Bigelow's so big and rounded that it looks like he could just realistically just roll back to his feet from there, like a weeble wobble in some respects. And actually, don't weirdly mean that in a disrespectful way.
No,
just
I get it, though.
believable. Looks like, yeah, you could bounce back from that. Where do we go from here? Second clothesline knocks him down, but the third charge sees Davey Lowbridge and Bam Bam goes crashing down to the outside. JR harkens back to the days of the British Bulldogs being beloved by the fans and comments on how Davey Boy is now hated. And McMahon reminisces on the 1992 SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium, which is another show that we do have to cover.
Okay.
As Bigelow climbs up onto the apron, the Bulldog is there to punch him back down to the floor. At the second attempt of making it onto the apron, Bigelow has to prevent himself from being suplexed back into the ring and instead counters by lifting Davey Boy up into the air and bollocks first onto the top rope for a dick guillotine.
Yay!
Big Shove sends the Bulldog down to the canvas, nursing his pebbles, and the big man heads to the top rope. Holy shit, do those ropes look loose, as they give a hell of a lot under the weight of Bam Bam. Diving headbutt connects, and we get a cover for 1, 2... Ah, yes, he got him! Oh, no, he didn't. JR quips that this will have ruled Bulldog out of the tag team title match reckoning later tonight.
Ooh.
As Bigelow protests the cadence of the count, Bulldog connects with a chop block. Davey begins working over the knee by driving his own joint into the injured limb on multiple occasions and continues the punishment with focused kicks. Bulldog laces the legs around the knee as Bigelow writhes in pain. A shift of position puts the big man's shoulders against the canvas, but it's not enough for 3. Second attempt earns the same result. USA! USA! Chant by the fans. As Davey takes a moment to look through the crowd, his attention quickly returns to his opponent, who he drops with a second chop block. Defensive kick by Bam Bam does little to slow the progress of the Bulldog, but when he connects with an Insigiri, Davey flips head over heels onto the canvas. Very nice. The Brit is the first to get back to his feet, however, and proceeds to drive his weight into the knee of Bam Bam using the rope for assistance. Single-legged crab applied, and Bigelow could be in a world of trouble here. Stomp drives the knee of Bigelow into the canvas, but he looks to fire back and drops Davey with a big right hand. As before, he does not get the opportunity to take advantage as the Bulldog returns fire to the injured knee. Big headbutt by Bammers drops Davey, but he runs into a kitchen sink that gets a near fall for the Brit. Reverse chinlock applied as the USA chant begins once again. Holly, please can you do the honours?
He's asleep. He's awake.
Bigelow returns to his feet and runs Davey back first into the corner before unloading with a series of forearms. The Bulldog lands a punch to the midsection but cannot complete the body slam attempt as he falls backwards with Bigelow on top of him and narrowly avoids a 3 count. Bam Bam ducks too early off a whip and is nearly caught in a sunset flip but sits down at the last moment, causing the Bulldog to spasm uncontrollably. Falling headbutt lands and now the big man signals heading to the top rope. Bigelow takes flight with a moonsault, but Davey rolls out of the way. That one actually had me concerned because Davey didn't make any, he didn't try and line himself up for it. He just stayed there, waited, and then moved last second, that was great, but it could have ended badly.
Yes.
Davey rolls out the way cover, and we get the 1, 2, no. Now it's the turn of the Bulldog to go to the top and connects with a diving headbutt that earns another 2 count. Bigelow blocks the right hand and connects with one of his own before scoring with another headbutt. He looks to be groggy though, and his whip is reversed, sending him sternum first into the buckles. He staggers back out and walks directly into a modified power slam that results in the 1, 2, 3. Bit of a damp ending, I thought. Because Bulldog pits him up on the shoulder and runs. I don't know. The British Bulldog is your winner by pinfall. After briefly celebrating his win, Davey begins arguing with the fans on his way back up the aisle. Holly, what did you think of this match?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really easy watch.
Okay.
I like both men.
Yep.
Both strong guys, and I'm always surprised, no matter how many times I see it, of how agile Bammer's for a big guy, he can move.
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
Okay. That's high. That's fine. I went 2.25, so I'm not miles off.
No.
It was a bit slow going at times, but it was all right. I thought it was fine. Served a purpose. I don't like seeing Bam Bam Bigelow lose all the time. All we do is see him lose, it feels like.
Oh, yeah, that's true, actually.
Did he win when he was teaming with Luna Vachon at WrestleMania 10 against Doink and Dink?
Oh.
Did they win that? I think they did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Okay, good. That might be the only one we've seen him win. Because he lost to Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania as well. He's not had a good run of things.
He hasn't.
He had the double count out at WrestleMania 4.
Still impresses me, even though all of these things have happened.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree with him. And I've got to support a fellow Scot as well, don't I? So, he's not Scottish, to be clear, nor am I.
Just the namesake.
There you go. Godwin on the hotline. We see footage backstage of Henry Godwin and a slop-stained $1 Million Man on the WWF hotline talking to the fans. After Vince is sure to tell the fans that they must be 18 years of age or have their parents' permission in order to call the hotline, we quickly transition to a vignette of WrestleMania 11. I nearly made a joke there about Jerry the King Lawler. Put it together yourself, based on the age. During this package, we see numerous highlights from the event, which made it look much better than the reality we experienced. Holly's still shaking her head at me. The WrestleMania 11 special due to be shown on Saturday night 30 years ago. Hopefully you all tuned in. Now, Holly, here we go. Business is picking up as Mr. Bob Backlund makes his way down to the ring to the presidential march. I can see now that Holly is palpitating with excitement at the mere memory of this. After punching the air in the ring, Backlund secures the microphone to address those in attendance.
Snore me now.
Ladies and gentlemen, try not to exacerbate me, please. My thoughts exactly, Bobby. Where is your lexicon? Oh, God, Holly... Is this what it sounds like when you're doing a podcast with me? Oh, God.
He did use so many long words, but I'm going to let you into a little secret here.
You weren't listening?
I got a drink at this point.
Oh, God. I just went, oh, this is ridiculous, and went, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It had me switch off my brain quicker than usual.
Yep. Word for word, by the way, this.
Yeah.
All the plebeians that come onto this earth have an acute limitation, and everybody has to accept challenges to learn how to advance in their lives. Like learning how to walk, and learning how to crawl, and learning how to eat, and learning their ABCs. What the fuck is happening here?
I'd switched off.
JR, you reckon he's going to make a point?
Nice. Very good. Very good.
Not a chance, my good old custodian of nonsense. Those acute limitations become chronic limitations. Mr. Backlund has the great honour to introduce us to somebody that crawled out of the cavity. Hey now. A man that criticises and disciplines his students. Dean Douglas, ladies and gentlemen. Assume you recognise this man, Holly?
Right, help me, because I didn't bother looking. Recognised him.
The franchise Shane Douglas from ECW. The one who was in a tag team match. He had a bit like kind of longer blonde hair. Goatee usually. Okay. Really raspy voice normally.
Recognised his face and I was like, I know I know him, but I just don't care enough to look.
The guy who, when he won we've discussed it a few times, when he won the NWA title on an ECW show, was the one who then said, they can all kiss my arse, and threw the title down.
Okay.
This is him.
Oh.
This is him. This is not Carmelo Hayes. This is definitely Dean Douglas. As Dean makes his way to the ring, we see... That name's haunting me this week. We see footage from post-SummerSlam where he was critiquing the ladder match to Razor Ramon, who decked him with a right hand.
Yay!
During a match on WWF Superstars, Douglas refused to pin the Kid on a number of occasions until Razor Ramon makes the save.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
On Raw, in a match between Razor and the Kid, Dean interferes, landing with the top rope splash before making a hasty exit. As this footage is being played, in the ring, Dean is heard saying to Mr. Backlund, but finally Bob has someone... Oh, that finally Bob has someone in Dean Douglas who he can be proud of as a WWF star. Douglas came to In Your House to teach a specific WWF superstar a very important lesson. If he hasn't done his homework, and if he hasn't prepared, he will surely fail. Weighing in at 287 pounds, hailing from Miami, Florida, Dean Douglas gives to us his opponent and loser, Razor Ramon.
Yep.
Next match, Holly.
Yeah.
Dean Douglas versus Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Take it away.
I'm a happy girl.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's been a while. And I'll be honest, obviously when I didn't know the backstory, I was like, oh, here it is. Here's the match that's going to be, like, really hard to get through. No, it was good.
No, it was good.
I was happy.
You're happy.
I really was in a good mood for this. It's quite concerning.
Okay. We know you like to be disciplined, but were you still in the corner of Razor Ramon?
Absolutely.
So you weren't a Dean Douglas?
Nope.
You weren't in the after-school club. Okay, I see how it is. Fine. After the introduction from Dean, Razor's music hits, and Holly, my God, is it good. I love that music.
Yep,
I
so
love that
good.
music so much. He sprints his way down to the ring, not happy about that, slides in, ducks a right hand, and levels his opponent with a right hand as the bell sounds. More right hands from Razor continue to put Dean on his backside before a clothesline sends him all the way over the top and down to the floor. Razor is really feeling it early in this one as he pumps his arms to the fans' approval.
And he looks good here.
Oh, I thought he looked something in the face. Didn't look right to
I'm
me.
not talking about his face. Because I don't think at this point...
Did you know he had one?
At this point, I don't think the camera focuses too much on his face. There is a little bit later on where they do a close-up of his face, and I was a bit like, oh...
He looks weathered, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
his physique looks great.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
no, his physique is
Yeah.
pretty much always... Even when he's, drunk off his arse,
Yeah.
his physique's usually still really good. But, yeah, in his face, I'm like, oh, you've started to
Yeah,
age.
I know.
You can see his
feel it,
extracurricular
yeah.
activities are starting to affect him.
Yeah.
More right hands from Razor continue to put Dean on... Oh, no, there we go. Douglas returns to the ring and they briefly lock up before he is taken down with a side headlock takeover. Head scissors escape and they return to their feet where the pattern emerges for a second time. On the third occasion we get the same thing, but a right hand by the bad guy puts Douglas down for an early near fall.
I genuinely thought this was going to be a quick one and done.
Squash match.
Yeah.
I think this might be the longest match on the card.
Do you think?
It's either this one or the Bulldog Bammers one.
Oh, really?
I don't think the main
There's
event
one
is as
that-
long as you think.
There's one that I felt... There's one that felt really long to me.
I'm trying to remember what else there was.
The penultimate.
I don't remember what that was.
Brett?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
That
That's
was
definitely
long.
the longest. Yeah, sorry. I completely forgot that match existed. No, you're right. I think that is the longest one. Dean staggers and falls into the buckles where he complains to official Tim White that Ramon was using closed fists. Fair point. The two lock up and Douglas connects with a cheap right hand. More rights find their mark, but off a whip, Razor manages to counter a hip toss with one of his own and sends Douglas sailing over the top to the outside. As Dean recovers, we get a split screen featuring... and it shows Yokozuna, Jim Cornette, and Mabel all waiting for their cue off camera to begin discussion, which all of a sudden they do, but after the camera has already been on them for at least 3 seconds. Really had me laughing, this did, because they're literally all just kind of like going, do we go? Do we go?
Yeah.
Do we go? Ah, blah, 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 at the same
So
time. It's
bad.
so shit.
So bad.
I would recommend that you watch it because all of them looked ridiculously dumb off the back of it.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Very, very funny. Oh, dear. At ringside, Douglas discusses strategy, perhaps with... Ooh, fucking, that's not even close. Douglas discusses strategy, perhaps with Mr. Backlund, who is referencing an open book. Unless the book holds the finish for this match, I fail to see its purpose. Dean returns to the ring and applies a wrist lock to the bad guy, where he drives his elbow into the arm. Countered by Ramon into a top wrist lock before transitioning into a hammerlock. The position is reversed before Razor once again gets into a dominant position. Hello. Dean looks for a method of escape and settles for grabbing the back of the head and jumping over the back of his opponent. He loses his balance and falls on his arse, but does pick the legs of Razor, dropping him onto his face, where he runs over his back, ducks a clothesline twice before leaping directly into his arms.
Yeah.
Sack of shit sends Douglas hard into the canvas, but only gets a count of 2. On the apron, Dean finds his arm guillotined over the top rope. He is pulled back to his feet and lifted over the ropes and back into the ring on a single-arm Greco-Roman knuckle lock.
Yeah, I definitely wrote that down.
Yeah, of course you did. Arm lock is maintained by Ramon, who adds insult to injury by paintbrushing the back of the teacher's head.
I do like that.
I hate that.
I think it's funny because it's him.
Yeah, fair enough. Short-term shoulder tackle puts Douglas to the canvas 3 times before he drops a leg over the arm and returns to the starting position. Corner whip sends Dean to the buckles, but he jumps to the second rope and fakes out on a crossbody, causing Razor to duck down, which leaves him in a position for a sunset flip. Ramon doesn't move, however, and punches Douglas right in the face before dropping down for the pin. The position is countered, but Dean only gets 2 as well. Big clothesline puts Douglas down for another near fall, and we now return once again to the arm lock. The bad guy continues to work over the arm as Douglas is begging off, but there is no relenting. A few right hands presents with the opportunity to whip Ramon to the buckles, but he still gets knocked on his backside with a shoulder tackle. When Razor hits the ropes a second time, Douglas grabs him by the hair and tosses him over and down to the floor. Dean slings himself over the top rope to connect with an axe handle to the small of the back, and he runs the bad guy back first into the ring apron before slamming him down onto the blue mats. Douglas rolls into the ring to break the count before returning, and he scores with a running knee to the back that sends Razor into the steel stairs.
Boo.
Dean manages to just about pick Razor up and run him back first into the
No.
ring post.
I'm not having that.
He was off the floor.
He doesn't run him.
He ambles him.
He plods along.
He ambles
a little
him.
bop into the ring post, but we drink for it.
We drink for it all the same. And now all I can see is his pecker in the blue singlet. Because obviously lifting him up, everything went up with him, and then we can see. Yeah, little Percy pointing. The two men return to the ring, and Dean heads to the top turnbuckle. Ironically, it says turnbuckle like it's an exam, where he connects with an axe handle to the back for a near fall.
Boring.
Douglas continues to pound away on the back, delivering knees and clubbing blows, but eats a big right hand that drops him to the canvas. Razor ducks too early off a whip and is sent down hard into the canvas courtesy of 2 handfuls of hair, another count of 2. Snapmare takedown, and Douglas is applying an arm stretch. Douglas applies his knee into the back for additional pressure, but the bad guy gets to his feet, albeit he struggles to break free. Finally, the position is reversed, but Dean forces the hold to be broken by ducking between the ropes. As the official instructs Razor to step back, he eats an elbow to the ribs and a few right hands. Back first into the buckles goes Ramon, who on 2 occasions, and I've done the Ramon thing again, haven't I? But I've done it for Ramon this time. Onto his front, allowing Dean to connect with a springboard splash to the back and get the 1, 2, no. Well, we know what I'm going to do from now on, don't we?
Ramon.
Yep. Modified camel clutch is applied in the middle of the ring. Razor looks more bored and sleepy than he does in pain, if I'm being honest, but the slap to the back of the head must have been annoying if nothing else. We see a man in the crowd near the R-way, and for a second I thought it was Slick.
Oh.
Really looked like him. He had a great deal of the same outfit on, although he did look significantly bigger as an individual. Razor fights his way onto his feet and lifts Dean into the air in a, what is this position called, Holly?
Electric chair.
Yes, an electric chair
Yay!
drop. Both men are down. It only took you 72 shows to get that. Just before the official makes it to 10, Douglas drapes. Douglas drapes his arm over the chest for a very close near fall. Right hands are blocked by the bad guy, who scores with a number of his own, including the always confusing spinning variant, which looks shit, in my opinion. Wrist clutch Northern Light suplex gets a count of 2, that's new. Corner whip and clothesline score before Douglas is sent sternum first into the buckles and lifted onto the top rung. Elbow from Dean scores, and he succeeds in connecting with a crossbody, but Razor rolls through and gets a close 2 count. Courtesy of a handful of tights, Razor is sent crashing face first into the official, knocking him down.
Oh, it begins.
It begins. Flying punch by Douglas puts the bad guy down as Mr. Backlund tries to resuscitate the official by slapping him in the face.
Yeah, I heard that works.
Yes, always does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The second rope spinning splash does not find its mark on this occasion, and now Razor connects with the Razor's Edge.
Yay.
Wait, hold your applause.
No, I'm aware.
1, 2, 3 Kid is now down at ringside, and he enters the ring to count the 3. Why?
So, right, I didn't think this guy annoyed me till he became X-Pac. That's untrue.
Razor stands up, but when he realises that was not the official count, he shoves the Kid in the face, causing Holly to cheer, before he is shoved in the chest in response. Big mistake by the bitch, as he's sent flying out of the ring between the middle and top rope courtesy of an almighty shove. Really shitty O'Connor roll by Douglas, which does see Razor accidentally knee himself in the face, and now the referee is in position to count the 1, 2, 3. Dean Douglas is your winner by pinfall. Boo. Razor looks both confused and frustrated with what has transpired as Douglas stands in front of the one fan that is holding a handwritten sign that reads the Dean Douglas Fan Club. Member of 1, apparently. Ramon heads to the outside where he grabs the Kid by the hair and shoves him into the ring. Kid pushes him back and eats a slap to the face in response. Now Kid lands a slap, make it 2, before he begins wildly flailing his legs in the air like a marionette doll that's had the strings cut. The slap fight is separated by a number of referees and officials, but for a moment they don't get in the way in time and the Kid stumbles, nearly falling out of the ring.
That made me smile.
And me. Holly, now this chaos is done, what did you think of the match and what did you score it?
Up until the end, it was all right, actually. It was all right. I did give it 1.75 because for me it was less, even though it's Razor, it was less entertaining, and it was very much you do, I do, you do, I do, which we know bores me.
Yep.
I don't understand the ending. I don't understand the logic of in this case. What, they think that anyone else can just run down to the ring and counter free?
This was the point where 1, 2, 3 kids started to turn heel. So this was all part of this storyline that built to that.
Right, okay. Because I get that it's all a story, but just go away. Just don't be
Yeah,
there.
you think that whenever he turns up.
Yes.
In his little kimono or whatever he's wearing.
I didn't think he did. Like I said, I didn't think he started to annoy me until he became X-Pac.
But
I'm wrong.
But he's got 1, 2, 3 kid heat as well as X-Pac heat,
Yes,
apparently.
So annoying.
I actually went higher than you. I went 2.25.
Okay.
I actually thought the in-ring wrestling was better than a lot of what we've seen so far.
Okay.
It did drag. I think the pacing
Yeah.
wasn't great, and the ending was a bit of a damp squib. So I think it probably took it down from 2.5, like a middle of the road for me,
Yeah.
to a 2.25. But certainly not horrendous. And so far, I'd say the show is over-delivering what I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I would agree.
With the conclusion of this match, we now head to a vignette which depicts beautiful mountain vistas.
I know what's coming, and I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
The voiceover informs us that the next In Your House will be travelling to the Great White North, and we see interlaced footage of Impact manoeuvres before shifting focus to the Dead Man.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker will be looking to avenge his controversial loss to King Mabel, and we will also be seeing the in-ring debut of the man known as Goldust.
Yep.
We now return backstage where unfortunately Doc Hendricks is standing in the locker room wearing Shawn Michaels' heart-shaped sunglasses and cap. Just when you thought this motherfucker couldn't get more annoying, here he is. Turns out he's wearing these items as they are selling them on the WWF hotline. Pretty sure Doc refers to Goldust as Goldest. If you call up right now, in fact, as a free VHS cassette is thrown it's thrown to him, he goes, "Oh, we don't know what the cover is, it's just a
No.
VHS
It's just a blank
cassette."
VHS tape.
Fuck knows exactly what that entails, but apparently you'll get a free one. Without further distractions, Doc now invites Big Daddy Cool and Shawn Michaels into frame.
I loved this.
Doc asked the two champions what their take on Owen Hart's situation was, and whilst Diesel removes the cap to place it on his own head, Shawn says he finds the situation frustrating. I'm going to go into detail of what exactly Shawn says. Michael says it's like when you like a chick and you really want it, but she's a bit batty in the head. You get a little frustrated. As he's talking, the chandelier earrings he is wearing are flying all over the place and causing me great distraction. Shawn questions whether the match will even take place tonight, so he's not listening either.
Nope.
And Diesel says that he can smell a rat. Coo-coo-ca-choo. Michael says he thought that was Doc, which might well be the line of the night in fairness. Diesel informs that no matter which guys they get out of the locker room for the main event, the two dudes with attitudes will not lose. In fact, when all is said and done, they will be two chaps with 4 straps. Cunts.
You can't say that.
I just did. What? 2 chaps with 4 straps? Fuck off.
I thought it was so bad. For me, it was good.
Okay, let me say this.
Oh,
If they were going for kitschy, like the kind of cheesy,
Yeah.
fine. Okay, they're trying to be cool.
Right, so to me, it doesn't come across like that. Like, I didn't know that this is meant to be.
I think this is them legitimately doing what they think
Attempting.
is cool, because we don't care.
To me, this is so cheesy, it's funny.
They are trying to be what Razor Ramon naturally is.
Oh,
Razor Ramon doesn't have to go out there saying, I'm cool.
True.
He just is.
yeah.
And the more these two do it.
But I'll be honest, I could watch more of these two just be absolute idiots.
And do you know
'cause
what's
it's hilarious?
Do you know what's fine? It does serve its entertainment purposes,
it's
but when
funny.
you know what they're trying to deliver, and I'm sure, to be fair, if you ask, because Kevin Nash has got his own podcast,
Oh, yeah.
Click This, or I think if you asked him now, he would say, "Oh, I was a mark for thinking that they were trying to legitimately be cool," and I'd challenge that. I think they really thought this was cool.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway,
I liked it. It was great. It goes up there with the kiss cam for me.
it wasn't long enough of the kiss cam.
Comedy-
Give me this over the kiss cam. To be
Comedy
fair.
value.
And again, them having a go at Doc, fine. I don't know. It's just I think every time I saw Doc in this show, I got more and more annoyed.
Oh yeah, he was.
And then
annoying.
2 chaps with 4 straps. Come on now. Dearie me. I think, is that it? No, we got, cuckoo cuckoo is what I put here, so I've done that twice. The interview comes to an end, and when we head back live to the arena, the music that had been playing throughout the entirety.
Oh.
I didn't say that. I know I said entirety and it doubled down. Entirety of the previous segment lets us know that one of the participants in the upcoming match is ready to go. Because there was music playing the whole time.
There was.
And I was like, what purpose does this serve? Then it made sense. Holly.
Yes.
Jean-Pierre Lafitte versus Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes.
You're thinking, the fuck is Jean-Pierre Lafitte, right?
Yeah.
I haven't got any information.
Okay.
I just wanted to leave that a bit of suspense for you.
Didn't know. And why has he got such a long name? Like, Jean-Pierre. All right, fine.
Lafitte.
That's a
pirate.
That's a wine.
It's a pirate.
It's just bizarre.
He was going for a pirate theme because that's cool.
Name yourself Captain Hook then. I don't.
No, because copyright.
Captain something.
Long Dong Silver?
Hey, what was it? Brett calls him Captain Crunch.
No,
And that's
he doesn't.
cereal.
He calls himself Captain Crunch.
Yes, Captain Crook. That's it. Yeah.
And I've got some comments on that because.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Whose corner were you in?
I'll be honest. I was in Brett's corner.
Right.
I'm getting a little bored.
Why?
Brett. Just, I don't know. I'm not
What?
there now.
Why? What's happened? What did he do? What happened, Holly?
I think we maxed out at the Brett and Stone Cold match, and I don't know if he's really entertaining me anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm sure there will be another match I see and go, amazing. But especially when it's against someone I don't really care for, I'm just a bit like,
I think he's he's been put in matches where he needs to help the other person demonstrate what they can do, like with Hakushi.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good match. Lawler will forget about that ever happening. But Jean-Pierre Lafitte is very much a nothing. Really, like, not to disrespect the guy, but really isn't factoring into anything. But by having him go up against Brett and having a long match, which they did have...
It was long.
Yeah, it was a bit too long, but the actual in-ring stuff of it wasn't bad, to be honest. I mean, putting, as you would say, or as I would say, putting the cart before the horse. I thought it was okay.
I don't know if something that happens right at the beginning of this match just made me go, oh.
Well, if it's the interview bit, I'll give you that.
No, it wasn't. It was literally, I think, move number 1.
Okay. So let's go into it and see what happened.
Let's do it.
We see footage from both Raw and Superstars of Jean-Pierre stealing the sunglasses of the Hitman and even getting possession of his leather jacket. Great basis for a feud. The two men take part in a pull-apart brawl, and when we return to the ring, we see that Jean-Pierre is still wearing Brett's jacket. Vince conducts a brief interview with a jacketless Hitman, standing backstage where he asks him the deep and probing question, how'd you feel about this match?
So deep.
Brett likes to think about this match as being Captain Crook versus Captain Crunch. The Hitman considers himself to be Captain Crunch, which I don't think is actually the compliment he believes it is. Cool. I'm the cereal mascot. What's the owl boot?
Oh.
I love Brett, but that's just... I saw this and went, oh, no. No. The Hitman immediately contradicts himself by saying a jacket is just a jacket, but it means something to him.
Good Lord.
It's not a good promo.
No.
Not a good promo.
No.
Jean-Pierre considers himself to be... It's like, do you remember he said, I just got one thing to say about this.
And this says 45,000
I've just
things.
got one thing to say. Yeah, you said a lot of things. But this is shorter, thankfully, but it's not good. For as good as some of Brett's promos have been, he's done some stinkies along the way, bless him. Jean-Pierre considers himself to be the pirate, and it is long past time that he's made to walk the plank.
Oh dear.
The Hitman's music begins to play, and he makes his way to the ring through the door to a great reception as always, and even a little pyro.
I did like they walked through the front door.
Same. Weird without the jacket, though.
Yeah.
It looks like something's clearly missing. Unsettled me. Maybe that's why.
No wonder he's so angry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not like you can't go and buy a second leather jacket.
I know, shocking, right?
To be fair, I don't know how much it cost. Before the match even begins, Brett almost kills himself immediately.
Yep.
But that's it. By attempting a suicide dive onto his opponent, and he flips head over heels before landing back first on the concrete. Mm-hmm. That has to suck.
Yes.
I think I'll be honest, as much as you'd go, oh, Jean-Pierre wasn't in place, I think Brett overshot that. I think he was going way too fast.
Completely.
Because Jean-Pierre actually helps him because he
tries to
pushes
grab something,
but he also when he realises he can't, you actually see him push his legs to make him go over rather than come down like a lawn dart.
And I get it. Like, I mean, I couldn't do that. Dear God, no.
No.
But immediately also made me go, oh. And I think it just put a dampener on it. I was already a bit like...
Whereas to me, I was like, oh, shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see where this goes.
Okay.
The bell sounds because apparently this is a fine starting point with both men on the outside, and the hitman lays in right hands before instigating a hockey brawl by pulling the jacket over Jean-Pierre's head and laying in uppercuts to the face. That's fine. The jacket is now removed and Brett rolls him into the ring where he begins landing right hands in the corner. Jean-Pierre fires back, and it was about this point in my notes where Jean-Pierre merged into one name, but it's fine because I can read it the same.
Oh, I can't forget. Well, actually, it's if I say it in the normal terms, it's just Jean.
Jean.
But
Mean Jean.
Jean.
Mean Jean. Jean-Pierre fires back and looks to run the hitman into the buckles, but it's blocked, and instead it's he that eats the top padding. Elbow driven into the top of the head on occasions, and now the hitman... 2 occasions. And now the hitman scores with a headbutt. Thumb to the eye by the pirate, and now... So he needs an eye patch too. And now Brett does go face first into the turnbuckles. A flurry of strikes to the back of the head keep the hitman grounded, and somehow the Oath manages to nearly fall over from just throwing a straight punch. And Vince kind of goes, oh, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Oh, he's fine. More strikes find their home, and Brett now gets whipped to the buckles, but manages to avoid the incoming charge, and he scores with an arm drag takedown. Knee to the shoulder lands twice, and now the former champion slaps on an arm lock. Back on their feet, the hitman is pushed off, but looks to secure a crucifix pin, which earns him a sloppy count of 2.
I do like those.
Yeah, crucifix pin, they're cool, aren't they? I like it when they're countered into something as well, which I think we see later. Drop toe hold puts Jean-Pierre on the canvas, and Brett returns to the arm lock.
Boring.
The King shouts from commentary, challenging the hitman to say something to him, knowing full well he can't hear him. Brett is pushed off, but blocks the hip toss attempt, but cannot avoid the clothesline that follows. I like that. Jean-Pierre begins choking the hitman over the top rope before slingshotting him down to the canvas. Blatant choke has to be broken moments before disqualification, and Jean-Pierre begins arguing with the fans at ringside. Numerous stomps to the abdomen area as the pace of the match drops. Brett slips out the back door of a body slam attempt and secures an O'Connor roll that nearly earns a near fall. That does earn a near fall. Forearms from the hitman, but he ducks too early off a whip and eats a kick to the face. Left and rights from the pirate find their mark, but his corner whip is reversed. The hitman misses on the charge and connects shoulder first with the ring post.
Drink, please.
To double down, Jean-Pierre sends Brett straight back into the ring post before clubbing away at the back of the neck.
Oh, just take another one.
Strong corner whip sees the hitman collide sternum first and collapse to the canvas for a count of 2. More choking for the hitman over the second rope, however, he manages to elevate a charging Jean-Pierre over the top and down to the floor. He lands on his feet and quickly pulls Brett under the bottom rope to join him and whip him shoulder first into the steel stairs. Jean-Pierre returns to the ring, but only briefly before jumping off the ring apron to land a right hand to the back. Back in the ring, Jean-Pierre walks into a kick to the gut, and now the former champion fires back with a series of right hands, but charges into a spine buster, kind of.
Ish.
Lazy cover gets a count of 2. Reverse chinlock is applied. Vince claims that Jean-Pierre is one of the most underrated competitors in all of the WWF. Interesting opinion. I think he's valued just about right. Brett makes it to his feet and escapes the hold with a number of elbows, but in turn runs into a back elbow that puts him on the canvas and leaves himself open for the following leg drop and near fall. Back to the reverse chinlock. McMahon has one important question for the King, who has been in the ring recently with a hitman. Lawler, trying to preempt the question, says, "How do you deal with the smell?" No, how do you prepare for a match against Brett? It was very good, his response, how do you deal with the smell? Like as if that was obviously going to be the question. Yeah. Big clothesline from Jean-Pierre puts him back down. Sidewalk slam leaves the hitman in the middle of the ring, and now Jean-Pierre heads to the top. Top rope leg drop connects, and we get a hook of the leg for the 1, 2, no. Jean-Pierre repositions Brett before signalling his last right. Back to the top he goes, but he misses the attempted senton bomb. Both men are down, and the official begins his count. Inverted atomic drop and clothesline connect for the hitman. He picks up the legs looking to secure the sharpshooter, but is pushed off and falls out of the ring. Jean-Pierre hits the ropes and goes sailing over the top, but nobody is home, and he lands back first hard on the blue mats.
No, thank you.
Unbelievable risk. That looked brutal.
It really did.
Really
did. But I'm so glad he landed it the way he did, as
Yeah.
opposed to any other landing.
Yep. The Hitman sends the pirate shoulder first into the steel stairs as a receipt from earlier in the match before returning the action to the ring. Sternum first into the buckles goes Jean-Pierre, and he gets taken down by a side Russian leg sweep that gets a count of 2. Small Package also gets the same result as the former champion is now motoring through the gears. Backbreaker connects and the Hitman goes to Brett's rope, only to jump right into a boot to the face. There's a Canadian joke there, but we'll leave that. Both men are down once again. The Hitman looks to get a crucifix pin once more, but Jean-Pierre shifts him onto his shoulders and delivers a front flip fireman's carry slam that only gets a near fall. Brett gets whipped to the buckles, but looks to go up and over, only to get caught. The Hitman holds onto the ropes, and as Jean-Pierre looks to pull him, he lets go, allowing the momentum to carry him into a pin, but it is not enough. Headbutt and right hand by Brett, who whips into the corner, but runs into a knee to the chin. Imitating Harley Race against Pedro Morales from last episode, Jean-Pierre nearly steals a win with his Lafitte on the ropes.
Ooh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I see what you did
Yeah,
there.
it was subtle. It was subtle.
Oh, yeah.
He argues with the referee that it should have been a 3 count and takes his eyes off the prize and eats a drop kick. When I wrote that joke, by the way, I thought, you're going to go one of 2 ways with it. You're either going to go, oh God, or wet yourself.
No, I
So,
liked it.
yeah,
I liked
fine.
it.
Running Bulldog attempt, but Jean-Pierre shoves the Hitman sternum first into the buckles. The following cover is only prevented from being 3 thanks to Brett putting his foot across the bottom rope. Duck of a clothesline sees the Hitman torpedo Duck of a clothesline sees the Hitman torpedo Lafitte with a shoulder tackle, sending him into the ropes. Brett takes flight with a crossbody, but only succeeds in tangling himself in the incredibly loose ropes.
Yes.
Incredibly loose ropes. Lafitte heads to the top once more, but finds no water in the pool on the splash attempt. Wild right hand misses, and both men collide in the middle of the ring. Whilst on the floor, the Hitman entwines the legs and rolls himself into the sharpshooter position. After a few moments of struggling, he locks it in fully, leaving Jean-Pierre no option but to surrender. Your winner of the match, Brett the Hitman Hart. An exacerbated Lawler asks how the Hitman keeps doing it. Simple, says JR. He's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Brett is reunited with his jacket, and I guess the feud is now over. Holly, what do you think of the match?
I did enjoy it. Even, it just felt a little long, because it was a little long.
It was long, for sure.
3.25 out of 5 stars.
That's your highest rated, isn't it?
In this show so far, yes. So
seeing as this is the first one you've been audibly about.
But again, it's because it's longer. There's more in it that did annoy me.
Okay.
But I can't deny that the content compared to the others was far superior.
I gave it 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought this was the best match of the night so far. I agree it was a little bit long, but I think we have to give Brett credit here, and let me explain why. I think the reason you've become frustrated with him, and you've never mentioned being frustrated with him apart from during In Your House shows, is because he's being given underwhelming opponents to deal with and get a match out of, and he's still pulling good matches out of them. So Hakushi I like anyway, but that was new for you.
Yeah.
So that kind of tainted it. And then you see this generic gimmick that he goes into and has a good match with him.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's having a match with, let's say, a Diesel or a Shawn or Owen even. Like just someone of that level.
Immediately my interest is less.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, well, according to some people, I don't know anyone. But
no, you know The Rock. You know The Rock.
Just one. But like, yeah, I don't know. And I think it is because in a normal show or a different show, then I'm happy knowing that he's on the card.
You've done nothing but sing his praises in the other shows.
Exactly, but it's just getting a little tiresome here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he felt the same.
I don't think he was particularly happy. I think he liked the fact that he was trusted enough to get good quality matches out of people. But I think probably somewhere in the back of his mind he's thinking, I'm being significantly underutilised here. Yeah. We've got the main event with the 4 people in it. Bret Hart is a cut above everyone else on this card that isn't in that main event. And he must be thinking, what are we doing here? Because Undertaker's not on the show, so you can rule him out of being one of the... Yeah, fair. Rule him out of being one of those people. But Bret must be sitting there going, what am I doing?
But to me, it's... I know the main event was the tag match. But obviously, Yoko's in it, right? It's not going to go very long. I knew that already.
No.
So to me, after watching this match and the length of this match and seeing how long was left, I was like, well, effectively, he is... It's not...
He's the main event without being the main event.
Thank you, yeah. Even though he's up against someone... I don't know.
They put him there to get a good match.
Yeah.
I mean, what would what if I was trying to get a good match out of him?
Yeah.
Put him with a heel. You couldn't do Bulldog because of what we're about to see, because that would have been too taxing. But who else is there? Sid wouldn't have worked.
Razor.
Razor was a face.
No, yeah. At this point, yeah.
Even put him in there with Kid.
Well, they
did on Raw.
They did, didn't they?
But that
was not for.
No, I think that was 94. So I think that was the previous year, whereas we're in 95 now.
But you know what? That would have interested me more, I think.
Yeah. I think it's just the fact that Jean-Pierre Lafitte is just a guy that's come completely out the ether for you, and you're like, I don't care.
It's kind of similar to a lesser degree of the match with Razor, is that
Dean Douglas. Give him Dean Douglas.
I like it because it's Razor, but again, interest wanes when I see who it's with, and I'm a bit like, oh, okay.
Would you have... Okay, I'll give you the option here.
Okay.
Swap out Razor and Brett in those respective matches. Is it much of a muchness? Is it improved? Is it worse?
I think it would have been the exact same,
Fair.
because I still wouldn't have known.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. And you certainly would have had to have the Dean-Brett match go much longer, and the Razor Lafitte match would have been fucking awful, I think.
Yeah,
really
I don't think
bad.
That would have worked.
Unfortunately, Holly, we head backstage one more time where Doc Hendricks is standing in the locker room with Jim Cornette, Mr. Fuji, Gorilla Monsoon, Yokozuna, and the British Bulldog.
Yeah. Yeah. This backstage segment is so bizarre.
Yeah, of all the people to then go, oh, okay, we've already got Bulldog under contract with our stable, so let's just use him.
Yeah.
Again.
Anticlimax.
Well, very much so. Cornette says sometimes it can take forever to find the thing that was under your nose the entire time. Yes, Bulldog has already wrestled once tonight, but he's the perfect replacement for Owen Hart.
I do enjoy the fact that Bulldog does nothing in here apart from poses the entire time. He doesn't say a word.
It's that one, isn't it, mainly?
Yeah, it's the big chest.
Big chest, yeah. Gorilla officially sanctions the British Bulldog to be one half of the tag team champions for tonight only. Cornette asked for clarification that the perks previously in play will still be applicable for Davey, and Gorilla once again confirms this is the case.
People don't listen.
It's litigious society. We need it in writing. That's the reason. We return to the commentary position as we hear a static microphone malfunction as McMahon's voice booms throughout the arena. Vince welcomes everyone to former WWF Women's Champion Alundra Blaze, and just when I wonder if we're going to see another match, I realise that the poor woman has been relegated to simply modelling merchandise for the company.
Yeah. There's not been any women's matches in Your House, have there?
Nope, and the reason why is because they weren't doing women's wrestling at this point. So this was the... they have two massive gaps in the WWF for women's wrestling.
Okay.
So we're talking like, the Wendy Richter, Fabulous Moolah, Jumping Bomb Angels.
Yeah.
Then there was like about I don't know, 4-year period, maybe about that where we didn't have women's wrestling again. Then Alundra Blaze came around with like Bull Nakano.
Yeah.
They started to have matches again. Then the interest died off from that, and then from Alundra Blaze till basically we get like Chyna.
Yeah.
Lita, Trish, there's a gap there again where they just went, this isn't working, we can't make it work. So Alundra is still under contract.
She's just there, just doing jobber work.
Well, she's literally here modelling t-shirts.
Yeah, and I think last one she sat on the phone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, at least it makes sense to me, because I was a bit like, why is she there but not actually wrestling at all?
But let's think about where she came from. So by this point she's already done. Like, she was at Beach Blast, remember? Where she did the bikini contest with, was it Missy Hyatt?
Yes.
Yeah. And she just looked like she just didn't want to be there.
Signed out, yeah.
She finally she was working in Japan, to be fair, and then gets with WWF. She gets used, she gets made out to be the big women's star. She got a lot of fanfare, like at WrestleMania 10, pyro and all this good stuff. Mm-hmm. And then, we're a year on from that, and she's like, what am I doing? It must be such a kick in the teeth for her. And she was really, if she'd come along like 10 years later, I think she would be viewed, not that she's not given her flowers, but I think there'd be such an additional level of respect for her and what she did.
Yeah.
Like, if her and Bull Nakano came around in the later part of the 90s, when, like, China, Trish, and honestly, I think Trish and Lita would be struggling to get a look in at the level that they are. Because I'll be honest, Lita had her shtick. She's not a good wrestler. She just isn't a good wrestler. Like, Trish became a good wrestler, but she wasn't good at the start, and China was always a bit ropey. Whereas these two women, like Alundra and Bull, they could wrestle. So I feel like that would have been really interesting to see. I mean, who knows? It could be miles off the mark, but I do think that had she been around at a later point in time, Alundra could have really been something. And just to see her like this, I genuinely felt sad for her. Genuinely felt sad for her. But she would leave the WWF and she would head back to WCW and go from there. Okay. Alundra high-fives the fans down the aisle whilst wearing the triple header t-shirt on sale on the WWF hotline. I like how they blur the numbers but still say the numbers out loud. Vince kindly prompts Alundra to something hiding in the hedges. And no, it isn't King. It's a free WWF Classic VHS, free with every purchase. Again, no idea what it is. Don't know what it is. Could be anything. Could be a Vince sex tape, for all we know.
Thank you. But she gives it away, doesn't she?
No, exactly. Alundra teases throwing the tape into the crowd as Yokozuna's music begins to play. Unfortunately, what this means for the former women's champion is that when she removes the t-shirt to throw it into the fans, she's greeted with smattering of boos, but it's because we're hearing Yokozuna's music. As Alundra heads through the front door of the house, McMahon awkwardly suggests that Yokozuna is coming through the back door, as it were. Holly, could you imagine Yokozuna coming through the back door?
No.
Fair. So, yeah, Yoko's, and I still love Yoko's music. I don't know what it is about it. It's there's a haunting, and because Yokozuna doesn't really speak apart from yelling "Bonsai," which we need to stop, it kind of adds to his aura. I think when he just kind of boom, 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 down to the ring, but like the music really adds to the aura. I think for him.
Do you think Davey missed his cue here?
I don't really give it much thought, if I'm being honest.
Because you see Yoko come out, he plods quite far.
He does.
And then you see Cornette run off and come back with Davey Boy.
I think that was... No. So, in answer to your question, no. I think it was because the audience maybe weren't aware, potentially, that Bulldog was the replacement.
Oh, because maybe they hadn't seen the split screen that
potentially
we were
not
treated to.
Exactly. So I would have thought they would have done, but I think that was the point
Just
of going, by the way, this is who's going to be replacing it.
Okay.
Main event time, Holly. Whose side are you on?
I wonder.
You're going against the Bulldog?
Yes.
Okay.
In this instance, yes.
Okay. Holly, it's been a running theme throughout the evening, but do you know why Owen Hart was not at the In Your House 3?
Do you want me to pretend and say no?
No, I want you to tell me what it actually was.
Because his wife was giving birth to their child.
Second child?
Yeah, at the moment of this going on.
Correct. Which is then very confusing what we see later on. Fortunately, not for bad reasons, though, being at a hospital. Martha was welcoming their second child into the world. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Next, here comes Pat Butcher. Oh, no, sorry, it's Shawn Michaels and his chandelier earrings once again.
You cannot ever be mad at this music. It never ceases to put a smile on my face.
Okay.
And do you know what? If I had to rank entrance music, maybe I will start doing this, but I think I like it more than Hogan's old music, which I love that too. But this one always makes me smile. Always.
Okay. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you rank this one higher than Keep Rolling?
Ooh. Do you know what I do?
Wow.
I do. I like...
'Cause of The Undertaker.
I like Rolling, but it doesn't... I hear it and it doesn't make me sit there and be like happy. Whereas this one really
Stone Cold?
No, because it's just because Stone Cold comes up.
Bret Hart?
No, I think out of these examples... HBK's music tops all of those.
I Hear Voices. I'm throwing the challenging ones out there.
It's one to think about, but no, I don't know. There's something about this entrance music that just never, to me, gets old.
Fine.
And I just love the way he performs when
Even
he comes
now,
out to it. I love it.
with a cowboy hat and his like war-torn face.
At least he, even at that point, said that he needed to stop Dad Don. So
Yes,
I did
yeah, for
agree.
sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It just, I like it.
Well, I kind of double down with what you say here. I put great presence and energy from the Heartbreak Kid, and I'm certain Holly is an approval of the ring gear that's been chosen.
Hells yeah.
Last but not least, the WWF champion Diesel. Purr, purr. Diesel, of course, in his home state for the show, and much like Sean, he also gets a good reception, which is unsurprising.
Mm-hmm.
Both of the singles champions receive pyro for their entrance, which admittedly adds something to the overall presentation. Holly, reckon Bulldog got paid twice for the night's work? No, I don't think so either. On commentary, they ask if he would like to change his prediction. On commentary, they ask if they would like to change their prediction from earlier in the night. King says he doesn't need to. He remains convinced that Shawn Michaels will lose the Intercontinental title. To Owen Hart, you said.
Mm-hmm.
JR, I never said that. Forget the rest of the noise, Holly. Our boy, Earl Hebner, is officiating the main event.
Of course he is.
Go on, Hebs.
Of course he is.
In order to decide who will start for their team, Shawn and Diesel play rock, paper, scissors, which the Intercontinental Champion wins.
Again, comedy value for me, and I'm sure it's not meant to be, but it is.
I think it is, to be fair. God help me, every single time I see the name Two Dudes with Attitudes, I die a little inside, and it's on both of their ring gear.
Yes.
Fucking hell. Michael signals down to commentary to talk about his athleticism and charisma, which is fair. King, the sun isn't the centre of the universe, Shawn Michaels is. Don't get the flat earthers on the go, holy hell.
God.
Bulldog starts off for the champions, which is the least surprising thing I've seen all evening.
Shocking.
There's an image later of Yoko.
Blowing out his arse.
I wish it was his arse I was looking at, to be fair. It's something else. Collar and elbow tie-up sees Bulldog shift to a hammerlock before transitioning to a side headlock. Back to the hammerlock, which is momentarily reversed, but Michaels flips over the back and looks for an O'Connor roll. Davey holds on and turns around as Michaels slides between his legs. Bulldog grabs the legs, but Shawn quickly flips him over. Davey grabs them again, but it leads to the same result. What? I know what I meant to put here. The Bulldog, okay, is changed it to the Brick.
Oh.
Charges in, but is elevated with a back body drop and a clothesline sent him over the top to the out to the outside. Yeah, Michaels manages to hold on and skins the cat back into the ring.
Yay!
When he turns around, he narrowly avoids a charging Yokozuna, and he is motoring, to be fair, the big boy.
At this point.
That's the last time we see him move.
Yep.
Right hands from the Heartbreak Kid back the big man to the ropes, where Diesel stumbles over Shawn to half-heartedly hit him out of the ring.
Yes.
Great.
It was good, even though it shouldn't have been.
No, shit. It's
Yeah.
so shit. Holly, how loud are the females in the audience?
So loud.
So loud. They are
So loud.
dripping. Honestly, it's the wettest arena I think I've ever heard. It's disgusting.
Splash warning.
It was a splash zone, yeah. It turned into a water park pretty quickly, that arena, didn't it, in Michigan? High five in the middle of the ring by the two Rudy Poos, or whatever they're called. The dryness of Michael's hair is distressing me.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
The Bulldog returns to the ring and briefly consults with the big man, who he tags into the match. He's basically like, "Can you get in the ring?"
Yeah.
And Yoko's like, "Banzai!" and then comes in or something. I don't know. Diesel offers to tag in, but big man Michaels wants to do it himself and ignores Yokozuna's request to also make the tag, because Yoko's thinking, if he fucking runs around, I'm fucked.
Yes.
Oh shit, Shawn is mocking the sumo tradition. To be fair, Yokozuna kind of is as well. It is like he has never seen Yoko eat fried chicken with mayonnaise. Michaels will be devoured at this rate. Yoko looks at Mr. Fuji and points at the Intercontinental Champion as if to say, "Is this fucking toothpick for real?" Yoko also assumes the position, and we get the classic undergunt shot of the behemoth. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Both men charge, but Shawn wisely slides between the legs and uncorks a series of right hands. That is actually well done.
Yeah.
He ducks a clothesline but runs directly into a big back elbow. Big body slam by the former WWF champion, and Vince ponders whether it is just his imagination or is Yoko getting bigger every day. Clearly, he is fucking getting bigger every day, Vince. Ridiculous running elbow misses the mark, and now we see Diesel tagged into the match. Right hands by the champion, but his whip is reversed and he is levelled with a meaty clothesline. Another whip, but this time Diesel ducks the clothesline and scores with a jumping variant of his own. Running big boot sends Yoko between the ropes and down to the floor onto his big plump backside.
And he looks fecked.
He does look fecked. As Diesel looks to pull the big man onto the apron, he's blindsided by a charging Bulldog. Headbutts from Davey, who allegedly is now the legal man. Bulldog cinches up a suplex position, and despite his initial struggle and drop, on the second attempt he does manage to lift the WWF champion high into the air for a delayed vertical suplex. So impressive. And for Diesel as well, because a lot of that's the core strength of the person going up there. For sure. Cover only gets a count of 2. Forearms from the Brit, who rams his shoulder into the midsection against the buckles before snapmaring Diesel to the canvas and locking in a reverse chin lock. Why did I say that like that? Chin lock. Diesel. Back on their feet, Diesel finds himself run face first into the top turnbuckle before being scooped up onto the shoulder of Davey. Power slam is prevented as Big Daddy Cool slips out the back door and runs the Bulldog sternum first into the buckles. Big back elbows in the corner, and this is followed by a corner whip and clothesline, make it twice. Tag back to the Heartbreak Kid, who ascends to the top, and after Diesel plants Davey Boy with a body slam, Sean clambers onto his shoulders and connects with a diving splash.
I like that.
Hook of the leg, and we get the 1, 2, no. Whip is reversed, and Michaels finds himself pressed into the air and dropped groin first onto the top rope, reminiscent of the Royal Rumble from earlier that year, which you haven't seen yet. No. Back elbow from Yoko sends the Heartbreak Kid down to the floor. Michaels tastes the steel stairs before being rolled back into the ring, where Yoko begins to stand on his neck. Blech. Yep. Barefoot and everything.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Big corner whip sends Michaels head over heels in the buckles and collapses on the ring apron, where he is kicked until he falls to the floor.
Do you think that looks good when he does that?
It's hard to say.
This specific one.
Because Yoko did it, sure.
It looks a little bit more...
impactful.
Yeah, but it's also one of the things that, when you see it enough times, it becomes a bit less exciting.
Well, it's stupid, isn't it?
Just stop yourself.
Yeah, like at least when Ric Flair did it, he would do it to take momentum to run across the apron and climb up to then be thrown off.
Yeah.
But Shawn Michaels just does it. No one runs so fast forward that they flip upside down. I've never seen that.
The ability of stopping.
Could you imagine seeing that in the 100 metres? Like Usain
Bolt
just goes and then flips at the end. They've got crash pads so they can do that.
I liked this one because it looked a bit more impactful because of who did it. But sometimes when I see it, I'm a bit like, just stop.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Exactly that. I mean, a whip in general is stupid.
Well, fair.
Body slam by the Bulldog on the Intercontinental Champion as Hebner is distracted.
Shocking.
Davey is the legal man, and he drops Michaels with a headbutt when he re-enters the ring. Huge back body drop sends Sean to the lights, and... What? Sean to the lights and down. The Bulldog then gets an ear fall. Yoko has fully draped his titties across the top rope in the corner and is sweating profusely.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, the rope is literally under his tits.
Yeah, and it's like his tits are nearly at the second rope at this point. This Holly is not a healthy man. Reverse chinlock by Davey sees the fans rally behind Michaels. Elbow is free and he looks for a sunset flip, which he eventually succeeds with, but it is not enough. Running crossbody also gets a 2 count, but it's swiftly cut off with a stiff clothesline. Bulldog shouts in the direction of Diesel, causing him to enter the ring, allowing Yoko to enter the ring illegally and connects with a beautiful, delicate Wagyu beef chop from the Bonsai Butcher's counter. A series of meaty right hands, ironically, land, and it was always going to happen, Holly. The dreaded trapezius hold.
Oh, God, this is so boring.
Because he loves the banter, the Bulldog waves the Japanese flag on the apron to increase the irritability of the crowd, who, of course, chant USA. Let's forget where Rodney and Hawaii comes from. Michaels returns to his feet, but his comeback is thwarted thanks to a rake of the eyes. Big headbutt drops the Heartbreak Kid, and Yoko climbs to the second rope. I put climbers here, and that's probably
fair.
Climbers.
Yeah.
Yep. But the bonsai drop does not hit its intended target.
This made me nervous because the way HBK moves,
wasn't quick enough.
But he also sits up.
Yeah, so he could have broken his neck.
And I was like, what are you doing? Just roll out the bloody way.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. It made me trez on edge.
USA, USA for the third time of the night, or in this match. Both men are down and struggle to make it towards their respective corners. Tag on both sides, and Diesel fires away some forearms before sending the Bulldog for the ride on a back body drop. Snake Eyes is followed by a flying crotch to the back of the neck over the middle rope. Sidewalk slam by the WWF champion, who now has right hands for Yoko. You okay?
You know what you just... You know where you did the running crotch?
Yeah.
I've called it the running giddy up.
The running giddy up.
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling that now?
I couldn't for the life of me think, what is this?
It's like a crotch guillotine, isn't it?
But then I was just like, yeah, that'll do.
The running giddy up?
Yeah.
You have to keep me honest on that one, so I use it going
I'll
forward.
try.
So we've got Sesame Street punches. We got, what else have we got? The double knocker is always a favourite.
Yeah.
A dick guillotine.
Yep.
All four men are in the ring in opposite corners, and the tag champions are whipped into one another at force, causing an eruption of sweat to fly off the big man. With Yoko against the buckles, a big whip sends Davey head over heels into him, before then being trapped underneath him as the behemoth falls on top.
That was very amusing.
I was fine with that, actually.
Unbelievable.
Yep. The Bulldog is sent to the ropes and eats a bit, although he flipped upside down. We forget that.
Yes.
The Bulldog is sent to the ropes and eats a big boot on his return. Diesel is signalling for it as he raises his arm into the air, but as Michaels knocks Cornette off the apron with a right hand, Yoko is able to prevent the jackknife from taking place. Wild swing from Diesel allows Yoko to connect with a Samoan drop. Very nice. Sweet chin music sends an exhausted Yoko to the outside. His night's over. Davey connects with a power slam on Diesel, but the pin is broken up courtesy of a top rope elbow drop from Michaels. As the Bulldog rolls to the apron, suddenly, Owen Hart sprints his way down to the ring and flies from the top rope, only to be met with a right hand to the stomach. Jackknife powerbomb on Owen, and we get the hook of the leg for the 1, 2, 3. Holly is confused, and this one is over. Your winners of this match and new WWF Tag Team Champions, Diesel and Shawn Michaels, two chaps with 4 straps. Dickheads. Okay.
Yep.
The new champs pose with their gold in the middle of the ring as the pyro atop the arena pitters away, and it does pitter. It's a bit like a...
Yeah.
And we head to the show closing highlight reel.
Yes.
Holly, I'm sure you have questions. I don't know if I have answers. But what did you think of the match?
Do you know what? This is the first Yoko match
You've enjoyed?
that I enjoyed.
Yep.
Because, thank God, Davey did 90% of the work here. Thank God. They picked well.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5.
For a Yoko match?
Exactly.
Wow.
It's never going to happen again.
Okay. You've seen all his good stuff, to be fair.
Again, the length I knew wouldn't be long. But it was long enough to tell the story.
Yeah, I agree.
Owen running in at the end was a bit confusing, but also I was like, knowing the reason why he initially wasn't there, I was like, oh, that's a bit nice. But then I also know that led up to what happened the day after.
Yes.
Which, again, makes sense.
So the decision was reversed. Our boy Earl Hebner laying down the law.
Of course.
He caused the 3 count, but whatever.
Yep. I liked it. I thought it was a good finish.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought, I mean, it delivered more than I expected it to. I think Davey Boy did do well.
He did very well.
I get why they brought Owen in to do that ending, but I want to know, when did he get there? Like, when was he there? How long was he there the whole time?
So I read online, and I didn't note it down because I just didn't think it. I didn't really know, but I did read online that it said, and again, this is all online. It's not me saying it. That he genuinely just made it.
Oh, okay.
But how true that is, who knows? Because again, he could have been there the whole time.
Well, it's wrestling. It's hard to.
They've said that, so who knows? But in my head, that I will go with that story because that makes it a bit.
He could have been there right
nicer.
from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly.
Have just got there after the fact, and they still need to do that ending, so he had no reason to do anything until then. So, but either way, we do get a little Owen Hart cameo. I didn't go quite as high as you, but I did give it 3 stars. I actually enjoyed the match. Yeah. I thought even Yoko's bits in the match were fine. Although I didn't need it. It was the tits over the rope that did it for me, to be honest. But when he took the Sweet Chin music and went out of the ring, I went, this motherfucker's not getting back up.
Nope.
Not getting back up. Were you surprised by the outcome?
No.
Yeah?
No, because I was hoping that was what was going to happen. So
2 chaps with 4 straps.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think overall, actually, is this so far the best of the In Your House shows we've seen?
I think if I look at my scores, which I didn't do, but just by my poor memory, I'm pretty sure this is the one I've overall highest scored.
I think the same might be applicable for me. I was trying to compare it with the, Team Canada versus Team USA one, which we saw from 97. I remember that being fairly decent.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is out of the realms of that, which is surprising to say, again, considering where we are in the chronology of the WWF. But Holly, forget all that. Before we do the final score of the show, or do we do the final score of the show?
Final score
and then we go
first.
to... Okay, fine, we'll do the final score of the show. Go on.
I gave it 7 out of 10.
Holy shit, what?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
What? No, really?
I really enjoyed it. It didn't feel like it was long
Yeah.
to do. I mean, I know I clearly was in a good mood when I watched this. A lot of my matches scored decent scores. The backstage stuff was amusing.
Yep.
And not long, which
I
did
true.
enjoy.
That's true.
Yeah, and also it was nice for me to have some of the people back that I haven't seen in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was right. I enjoyed it. It was good.
I gave it 6, so I'm not miles behind you, to be fair. I don't know. It felt like it was missing matches that I was interested in seeing.
Okay.
Like the fact that the matches that we saw were, okay, or like good in some places. I still didn't care about the reason why those matches were taking place. So I would have liked to have had a bit more of that. But couldn't really complain, and I'm okay with it overall. It over-delivered, especially when you consider. Do you remember what on Netflix what the still image of the show is? This is testing the memory. I can tell you, it's fine.
No.
Bob Backlund talking in the ring.
Oh God, it is. Yeah, it is.
So that you must have thought,
Yes.
oh my God, what are we going to get?
Yes,
so
you're
maybe
right.
your expectations were plummeted by the shit image, and then it went from there. So
Maybe.
swings and roundabouts, but overall, decent show. Show. Now, Holly, talk to me about the outfits of the night. How many contenders have we got? I think that'd be a few.
4.
Only 4.
Yep.
Okay, fine. So Shawn Michaels,
Yes.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yes.
Good. Will you go Bulldog? Because Bulldog always seems to sneak in these ones. Diesel, you thrown in there?
Nope.
Okay, good. Brett?
Yeah.
Not the Pirate. Who else you got?
So, Bulldog is in there. Mainly because when he comes out, not his ring gear here is very basic for me, but the entrance gear that he wears, I really like it.
Okay, fine.
And he had 2 different entrance gears.
He did. Yeah, I noticed that.
So I felt like he fully deserved that one. There's a lot of glitz, a lot of sequins, and a lot of Union Jacks.
Yes.
I quite like it.
Mm-hmm.
Bam Bam with the black, with the flame details. Big fan. Brett, I've put the all black unitard into the trousers. The detailing never gets old, and I prefer this look with the black with the pink detail rather than the bright pink
with the black. Okay,
yeah, it's just
fair enough.
Personal preference. I
That's
like
fair.
it. And HBK, the hat, the waistcoat, the chains, the
sunglasses.
And then even when he whips it all off, his tights are still they're still decent. I like it. It's a good look.
I mean, Shawn Michaels has won this.
Nope.
What? Bam Bam Bigelow?
Nope.
Bulldog?
Yep.
Why? Really?
His entrance gear
Over
was
Shawn
really
Michaels?
good, and he was there twice.
I was convinced Shawn was going to comfortably take this one.
It was. I'll be honest, it was a hard decision.
This is one of the better Shawn Michaels looks, I think. If his hair had been wetter...
Oh, yeah, then probably would have absolutely breezed it. But I've got to take in the whole
But Bulldog's made it... I think Bulldog might have won another one, to be fair. So I think this is his second or third win overall.
So.
You'll have to go through all your old notes.
I will
and
do at
see.
some point and keep a running tally.
Yeah, so I like the idea that Jimmy Hart might have nearly as many Outstanding Outfit of the Night awards as like someone like a Shawn Michaels. But I think everyone's still got some distance to go to catch up to both Jesse and Savage at this point in time.
They do.
I think they're the outright leaders so far. But Holly, I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was
What about you?
Good.
Again, change of scenery and pace. We seem to be bouncing from one era to another, which I think is helping, actually.
We do. And now we're jumping into another.
We are jumping into another, and God knows where we will go from there. But we're recording this a little bit ahead of time, so we're back at being ahead of the schedule. Apologies for the brief slip-up that we had. And to be fair, it was both of us. It wasn't just Holly.
No,
having
I
a
feel like
birthday.
it was mainly me, and no internet was the problem, really.
But also
yes.
I hadn't seen the show. to be able to allow me to watch
True.
it anyway. So I was as much to blame. But yeah, back in the swing of things, and I'm sure we'll be having another week off at some point
sure
with
we will.
holiday season rocking around.
It's
But
coming.
I've enjoyed myself. You've enjoyed yourself.
I've had a lovely time.
Hope everyone out there listening has enjoyed this as well. And until the next one, take care.
Until next time, this has been a Win Twice Wrestling production. Peace out.